Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your host Hunter Smith. With me today are the usual suspects, Austin and Drew.
Yo.
Today we'll be going over news, describe our games that we just played this week, discuss our wants for the Wolverine and the X-Men set that is upcoming, talk about what was shown or spoiled at SDCC last week, and we'll talk about comics and games. First, we're going to start off with what we played. We just got back from the Dugout, which is located in Indianapolis. If anybody wants to, in the area, wants to come out and play with us on Saturdays 3 to 6. We played the Magnificent 7, which is a side tournament at Gen Con, in which you play exactly 7 figures that all share a named keyword that equal up to 1,000 points or less, and it's modern age. And another stipulation is you cannot pay for anything on a character other than the character, which means no relics, no resources, no ATAs. Team bases are allowed even though you have to technically pay 5 points per character. I got that verified in an email to the guy who runs that event at Gen Con. So team bases are allowed, and they only count as one character towards your Magnificent 7. We saw how many Justice League team bases?
There were
3
there, I think. 3.
One of those was mine. And we saw 2 Blue Beetle Justice League international teams, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a Thunderbolts team,
A Superman team.
a Metropolis theme team, and Austin was playing a Stark Industries theme team, which actually turned out better than expected. Austin, you want to talk about your Stark Industries team and how it did?
So, I doubled up with the Iron Man, Iron Patriots. Those things were ridiculous, and I ran them at 300 points. The wording on them might as well just say, ignore all game effects that you normally would just think about, because they get traded Defend Energy Shield with an 18-19 top dial. They get freaking Sharpshooter traded as well as Duo Attack, and their Sharpshooter lets them target non-adjacent. So I ran 2 of them at 300 because their 400 dials 2 more clicks for 100 points, and it's really not worth it. And then, if they use Duo Attack, they can use 2 actions when they do it instead of attacks. So, and then for the filler, I did a 200-point War Machine Iron Man duo from that same set, the mass market one. He starts with Energy Explosion on the top click, and he's kind of like an Iron Patriot Iron Man Light. He gets traded Energy Shield only if he has no action tokens.
Under 2. He can.
Under 2?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he can use Duo Attack, but only the second attack can be an action. But he starts with Energy Explosion on the top click. And that's really why I wanted him, was so that way I could do some nice scatter effects on some...
Does he also have 4 bolts?
He has 3 bolts.
So he has 3, and the Iron
The other ones
Patriot...
have 4, but they don't get Energy Explosion until like every 3rd click or something
It's
like
still
that.
bonkers when it happens.
And my last filler was 4 of those 50-point Tony Starks, because they have Outwit Enhancement and Avengers Initiative for 50 points, which means if I was running into a character that had Stealth on their dial, I could literally outwit it. I would only hit issues with Batman family. So... the first team I went up against was a Blue Beetle JLI team. It went exactly as expected. Move forward, carry the characters with them, hide them behind the Beetle. Sharpshooter doesn't give 2 dams. I just shot right through it. I started picking off figures behind it. They ran into cover. I started picking stuff off again, but I got good rolls all around, and the damage output for those figures is insane, especially next to 3 enhancements like that. You're talking a figure that has a 6 damage at one point, or a 5 damage at its dial, and then 3 enhancements, it's 8 then 7 from a Duo Attack, and its actions for both of them. And then the War Machine could Energy Explosion the Beetle to hit everyone around it. Second match... What was second match? Second match was against a Society team, which, unfortunately unfortunate for my opponent, he missed his main Alpha Strike with Black Adam and a few other attacks, and then I just kept rolling crits, and it was a bloodbath. My last game was going to give me PTSD, but I think I'll let Hunter explain how that one went.
I played Justice League Team Base for the first time, and it went pretty much how I expected. It's a little too good.
A little?
I typically feel really bad in the situations where I play something that's that broken, but we are prepping these teams for our Gen Con, and at Gen Con that's what everybody's gonna be running. So I just got to suck it up and bring out the big guns. This is my first time using them. I comboed them with a couple pieces that worked out really well. I don't think I really want to go into too much detail because I don't want to give my strats away until after Gen Con, and then we'll talk about it. But the combo worked out much better than I expected.
It was dumb.
I used a Shade, the Changing Man, on his Barrier and Perplex dial for some support. I had John Constantine for some support, and I had Green Arrow from the new 52 set, one of my favorite figs, as a secondary attacker, and also the Ray from the Teen Titans set as a secondary attacker, and he also can carry. And my first match, I went up against the Metropolis team, just tore right through them. I made some mistakes as far as not getting the maximum amount of what I could do with my team, and as far as my combos, that I kind of forgot all about them. So the first match was good. I was glad that I had an easier team to play against, because I kind of forgot a few things, like as far as my general strategy with the team. But I mowed right through them. I think I may have lost one character, like a sixth, like John Constantine. The second match, I went up against a Justice League team with a Justice League team base, and he got to go first. His team was pretty similar to mine, except instead of Green Arrow and the Ray and Shade, he had Ice, Ice and two SOG Batmans, I think.
Yep.
And he got to go first. So I let him go. He did not move his Justice League team base out of the starting area. And on my first turn, I didn't move mine out either. I moved up my secondary attackers. I threw JC out there as bait. Since we both had John Constantine, neither of us could prob at all, because one of them is effing over the other one is effing over mine, so nobody can prob. And John Constantine has Mystics too, so I threw JC out as bait a little bit. I put him a couple squares up more than I usually would, because I counted and saw that his Justice League team base could get to him. He came up, he killed John Constantine, put the Ray on his last click, he killed another support figure, and he killed Shade. And he took a shot at the Justice League team base and missed, because he had to give me, I was like a 20. He had taken Mystics off of 2 of my guys he killed, and by that point he went to like 11, and the team base is 19 or 20 on its top click defense.
Yeah.
So he ended up missing that. So my team base, my JL team base was untouched, but almost all my support was gone. And then he tried to move it back behind safety, but I was like, you can't do that, because he used his first turn to move
shot.
up. No, that's a power. That doesn't count. Basically, you only get one move action, so you can only move them one out of those 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he had used it to get it across the map. And so that would be really stupid if you could move in, take a few shots, and move right back to your starting area. And so he had to leave it kind of at my Justice League team base's disposal, so I was pretty happy with it. I put it down to like its second to last click with all my Justice League shots, and I used Ray and phased him in to block John Constantine's line of fire to his Justice League team base, so that he couldn't prob it on his next turn.
Yeah.
And I used Green Arrow to running shot and hit John Constantine, or one of his support figures off of their Perplex. So I took his Perplex and his prob out of the equation.
I'm going to interrupt just to point out that Green Arrow figure, if we were debating what figures gain the most from that new PAC, he is up there.
He's one of them. I still say the best is Ted from DC-10.
Yeah.
The one jumping over the mailbox, the Blue Beetle. Mailbox Blue Beetle.
3-bolt energy explosion and RCE makes him so much better.
55 points.
So second game I won. I think I lost those 3 support figures. After that, my team base killed his. I mowed through the rest of them. On the third game, I played against Austin Stark Industries team. He moved all his guys up, and had them all together so he could get those enhances. And I was like, man, it'd be nice if I had some energy explosion right now.
Oh, wait.
And I was like, wait, Green Arrow has triple bolt energy explosion sharpshooter.
In hindsight, I should have probably moved one of those guys and outwitted the sharpshooter. I should have.
You couldn't have from where he was at.
Yeah, I should have bought myself an extra turn.
Unless they had sharpshooter, the one that was outwitting had sharpshooter, then you could have. But I moved the Justice League team base up into hindering. I actually got it stealthed, except for one square, and then I did all my attacks. I missed 4 out of the 6.
I can't imagine.
And then I barriered in my square that was showing, so he couldn't hit my Justice League team base at all. I managed to stealth it. And then Green Arrow running shot and energy explosion one of the back Tony Starks. Green Arrow only hits for 2, and he has 3 bolts on his energy explosion, but I crit hit it, and I deserved
exactly
it.
Enough to kill all of them.
I deserved it because I had missed 4 out of 6 attacks with the Justice League with 2 perplexes on attack, and I still missed 4 out of 6. That's just how my rolls go.
You deserved crit misses. With
and
teammates.
So Green Arrow running shot in, crit hit the back Tony Stark. So that means that Tony takes 3, and each other figure hit by the energy explosion takes 4. So that killed off both the other Tonys in one shot, and it ticked down all the Iron Man duos a couple points. And then the next turn, he couldn't shoot my Justice League. He picked off a couple of my guys, and then Justice League cleaned him up. It was like a 2-turn.
It was 2-3 turns.
It was like 2.25 turn
Let me
match.
put it this way: the duo when I was doing the duo attacks to pick off the side figures, that put me on my second token. I didn't make it to a chance to clear them.
Yeah, it was like 2 turns. I cleared the game, so
crap.
my team worked out really well.
Really,
You won.
The Justice League team base, though, it's really efficient at 300. When I look at its dial, it does for 600. It gives you a lot of dampeners, but it doesn't give you 300 points. I guess it does. Okay, it does give you enough. It's just it's not as good.
but it's 3 more actions.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main thing is
and
that it's
more
that
you
more
can
action.
pop off if you wanted to.
One thing I hate about it, though, is the fact that it has super strength and running shot on its top dial 600 points, but as soon as it gets hit for 2 or 3, it loses super strength. So it defeats the whole purpose of it having super strength, because what I would do would running shot, pick up an object, shoot a few people, and then think, oh, when they come in and base me, I'll still have super strength, and then I can melee them back and hit them for a lot of damage. As soon as it gets popped for 2 or 3, it loses super strength and drops the object, so it doesn't really help you.
Well, what's Superman's thing on the asset dial? Does he give it super strength?
No, his gives all damage dealt to it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Justice League team base is
Yeah.
reduced by an additional 1.
By the way, that's stupid.
Also, the reason well, not the only reason, because it's plenty of reasons why the Justice League team base is stupid. For one, it can't be outwitted, but one of the main reasons it's so freaking good is the asset dial starts on +2 sharpshooter and ignores shape change and super senses.
Yeah.
So all you have to worry about is dampeners, and it has outwit top click. So it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's hard to miss with that thing. I still managed to miss a lot because that's how shit goes for me, but it's hard to miss with the Justice League team base.
And I thought I was overestimating how good it was. Like I thought maybe I was joining the hype train because I'd only played against it a few times. But after this game today, like I have no doubts that figure is the single most broken figure I've played against.
It's definitely up there. Right now, it's definitely the best figure, especially at 300. I'm trying to think of something that was more broken when it first came out, and I'm coming up short. I mean, Nightcrawler was really good. Nightcrawler Metron was an excellent team back when it came out, but I still think for 300 points, Justice League Team Best just covers. It gets 3. It doesn't get out actioned because it gets 3 turns. It can't be outwitted as long as they're all on there, and it sees through stealth. It can be stealthed. It gets its own freaking prob control.
Yeah.
It ignores shape change and super senses. It's just too good.
The thing that I find ridiculous about it, though, is that it kind of goes against the whole point of Heroclix. It's like, oh, you're going to build a cool little team of superheroes. No, I'm going to play one figure with a pre-built team.
Exactly. It's
that's
boring.
Ridiculous. Yeah. And Aaron said that, too, when Aaron was playing it. He goes, this is so good, but it's so boring to play.
I hate figures that take strategy, that have some kind of mechanic that takes strategy out of the game. Even, no matter if they're good or not, I don't play them. One key example is Kid Flash. I love my Teen Titans. I love KF, but I have never and will never play the rare Kid Flash from Teen Titans because I hate his ability so much. It might as well say roll 2 dice and then go back to your starting area. All it has to do is be placed adjacent to an enemy, make an attack, and then move to anywhere within line of fire. There's no tactics in it. There's no worrying about where you go when you move. There's no worrying about who you're going to hit. You just place right next to him. You don't got to worry about plasticity. You don't got to worry about anything. And then you get away for free. It's basically just rolling dice. It takes all the tactics away.
Cosmic Spider-Man levels of stupid.
I mean, I hate pieces like that.
But that Kid Flash, like, when you bring it up, like, I've been against that twice in Sealed now, and both times, like, it ruins all thought to it. Because you're like, I'm going to set my team up like this, I'm going to do this, and then it just comes out of nowhere and it's gone. You're like, how am I supposed to respond to this? And that was my fear, like, even without hypersonic speed, the Justice League team base is absurd.
Yeah, Hunter built. He helped me out building a team. I played a JLI team with the Bug, and what else? We got the Batman from...
Number 1 from the Batman set, 200 points.
He's really good. I like the guy. He did some work.
Gives the whole team stealth because they all have JLI, and they're all less than him. Even the Beetle is the Bug is less than him.
Stealth, not Batman and Ally. That's something to point out, though.
Let's see.
Right.
Played Lobo from Superman. Probably one of my favorite pieces, by the way.
That sculpt is so awesome.
He's so fun.
My third game, it was down to Lobo and the Bug before it went to time, and he wasn't going to kill Lobo. There's no way. I just keep supporting him, and
he's so fun. And Little Lobo is so fun.
Little Lobo's my Teen Titans.
I played the Blue Beetle,
the pilot SOG,
the one that goes with them. They're like ham and potatoes. They're delicious. They're just so tasty.
Like Fiesta and potatoes.
I ordered a burrito, damn it.
We were joking 5 minutes ago, and we were getting Taco Bell, and my fiance is trying to tell me what she wants, and I swear, I made a joke, but it actually turned out to be a pretty accurate statement, that everything at Taco Bell has 3 words in its name, and you pick out of 5 words: cheesy, steak,
potato.
Beefy, griller, or Fiesta. Like, it's all.
Could you form a theme team with these words, huh? Perhaps a theme team meal deal. Taco Bell, if you're listening, I got you back.
So, anyways, it's true. Next time you go to Taco Bell, look at the drive-thru. Everything has one.
Make up something.
3 of
Any
those
combination. I want a cheesy steak burrito. It's there.
It's there. Fiesta burrito.
Fiesta potato burrito.
Fiesta potato burrito. I guarantee you that's a real thing. Anyway, sorry, where were we?
I played Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner's pretty dang good.
He's pretty good.
He's
really good against Justice League, I feel, because his second attack with that flurry does penetrating damage.
This is true.
I played, let's see here, who else did I play? Can't remember.
Caped Crusader. With brown bats attached to him. Or gray bats attached to him at the beginning, the ones with poison.
I was thinking I should have maybe played the black bats for the hindering thing. Plus they get shape changed, don't they?
I don't remember. One of them has super senses.
Yeah, that's it.
I think one of them has poison, one of them has plasticity, and one of them has super senses.
Gray has poison, I think. Brown has super senses, and black has...
plasticity, yeah. But if you keep him on Cape Crusader, he gets super senses, regardless of what color they are.
Those bats alone, like, for their point value, they're pretty solid.
And keep in mind, those bats are free, and the rules arbitrators on Realms confirmed that if you use the bat, one flock of bats that starts on Cape Crusader, it doesn't affect your theme team at all. So that's why he got to use them, even though they all have to share a named keyword.
I can't remember the last piece I used.
That might have been it. Blue Beetle, Bug, Lobo, the 2 Batmen. Oh, we are missing a couple. Guy Gardner, and there's one more.
Beetle.
I counted the Bug and Beetle.
Did you use Ice?
No.
August General.
August General. I like that figure, but I can never roll good when I play with it.
That's how I feel. I feel like that's
really good with
that figure is my curse figure. Every time I played him in Sealed, like 4 or 5 times. So happy to pull him. Crit miss every time I go to
I
Quake.
feel like he can really do some damage to team base and support pieces by charging in and penetrating Quake.
He can do damage, period. I mean, he's a flyer, so he can fly in behind groups quake them all, penetrate.
He's underestimated, I think. Like he's one of those figures you don't think about when you look at him.
Long dial.
Great reducers, and I think he's got regen.
He has Imperv and Invul, like his whole dial, and then he gets regen for the last like 3 clicks.
No, it's mid dial.
2 or 3 clicks.
I think
he gets it once.
Imperv regen, then Invul regen.
Yeah, he gets regen again at the end.
I love that figure.
He's an awesome character in the comics. Drew and I both really liked the JLI, and we're really surprised that they canceled it. August General's a boss.
I love JLI. I don't know why. Like that was just one of those series that, like, I guess it just wasn't selling well for some reason.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about how I did at the event, but let's just say Hunter announced the matchups, and I went up against Justice League, and the dream died there. So, you can do the math though. I would like to point out that my second game was against pretty much the same team.
Yeah, literally minus like 1 figure.
It was minus August General.
It was the exact same team.
I don't know who he
had Martian Manhunter.
The Martian Manhunter. Which I had never seen.
That figure's kind of overpriced,
and
for what he is.
It's not bad.
I'm thinking about it.
I was looking at him the other day.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
he gets penetrating, so I can blast with an 8 range.
His problem is he's
a finesse piece.
He lacks move and attack, though. Like, I feel like hammers would be great on him, or drop him Mox Hammer, do a
But unfortunately, we're no resources allowed. So.
Yeah.
Actually, I think fortunately, because I don't know. I guess it is unfortunate, because then
you might have a way
then you'd have team bases plus resources, because team bases can't have resources on them, but you can still have them on your team. So imagine if I had my Justice League team with, like, Gauntlet on somebody like the Ray, and I'm just hypersonicking in back and forth, staying safe or something like that. Like, that's dumb.
Another figure. Like you had me around that one time with Villains for Hire. That Black Lightning is a great figure.
Yes, Black Lightning from Batman.
Slap a resource on him, Outsiders. He's a great ranger.
He's really slept on, and he got a lot better with the changes because he has Energy Explosion and Psychic Blast, and those work together. So he has them both at the same time. I think he has End Cap, Energy Explosion, Psychic Blast.
Yeah.
Willpower, Running Shot, Outsiders.
Yeah.
With good range.
I ran him paired up with. He doesn't have willpower. Like he doesn't have Endom. He gets willpower down his dial.
No, he starts with willpower for like the first 3 clicks or something like that.
Okay. I ran him with the utility belt adjacent to my Villains for Hire that 1 week. I got so much play out of him with Constantine locking down their probs and Outsiders locking down their bonuses. I could see he's a figure that I think people really need to take another look at. There's a lot of figures in Batman that are like that. People went for specific pieces when they saw the set, and a bunch of little really good pieces fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
I suggested him to Aaron one time whenever he had to fill out a team, and I was like, "You should play this guy." And he, after the game, he was like, "That Black Lightning was so good." He has willpower and running shot first 2 clicks with the penetrating, Energy Explosion, End Cap with
range?
Then he has 8 range, 1 bolt, and then his second half of the dial he has Pulse Wave and Energy Shield on all of those too, and he gets charged the last couple of clicks with Exploit. He's just a great all around secondary attacker.
And with that much penetrating damage from a figure of that, how many points is he?
87, and he has Outsiders as well.
And that's a perfect belt figure because that's 13 points, makes him an even 100. Mm-hmm. You could skip on one item, whatever, throw a costume in there, give him stealth for the whole dial.
Yep.
And you have him sitting back 8 range, just throwing out the penetrating damage and making your opponent come to you while your team base is picking
He's a
down.
great piece. So that's what we played today. Thursday, I played at Comic Book University, which is located in Greenwood, at the best place in the area, Indianapolis area, to get your comics. Rob, the guy who owns it, is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
He's amazing.
And we play there on every other Thursday from 7 to 10. Anyways, we played Fear Itself, and I pulled a tier, which, of course, we talked about last weekend, the week before. I've really been wanting to play him. I played him. He paid off in dividends. Just awesome piece. I played him. I got lucky enough to pull a Jinx in my Teen Titans booster, and yeah, I can't remember what my other piece was. Oh, so I had Rise of Kodo as well, and I thought about I could play those 3 with the Book of Skull and 1 hammer, I think, or I could play Arrowette. I could take off Rizo, put Arrowette and
a full book. No, not four.
a book with 3 hammers, and I can't remember my other piece now, dang it. It was another Teen Titans piece that was pretty solid. But
Jordanian?
I'll think of it here in a second. But I got to buy the first round, so I got a win, but barely any points. And then, because we had to roll to see who had to sit out, and of course I rolled a 3. And the second round, I just demolished. I mean, I had such a great team. And I played against both of the Iron Fists and the Kid Flash that we were just talking about, the rare one. And Monkey King. That's what I played. Monkey King is so good. He's worth his 45 points in sealed.
I talked about this last week.
And Drew was talking about that was one of his favorites in sealed, and he paid off big time.
Yeah.
Arrowette was okay, and she did actually. I kept dropping her Mox Hammer to give her running shot, so she has running shot, stealth, sharpshooter.
Arrowette's a solid figure. Like
she's solid
in just Teen Titans.
And you need, like we talked about, you need outwit and fear itself.
Yeah,
and she has it. So my second round, I just demolished the Book of Skull. I got dropped 3 hammers and got that thing turning so fast. I lapped it once and I almost lapped it twice by the end of the game. It's just, I was getting lucky rolls too, but the Book of Skull is just so good. I can't wait to play it in a 1,000-point game with all the hammers on it.
Oh my god!
And just it's
going
to be crazy.
We need to set up a Mighty versus Worthy scenario. I think that'd be fun.
We're thinking about. I don't know if we'll do it during Fear Itself, but I think at the dugout we might run a just Fear Itself constructed event for one of our months, or we might just do it right after Fear Itself ends. But like I said, I won. So I won the second one. I was 2-0. My last match, I went up against Scott, and he had I think he had White Suit Iron Fist. I want to say. I know that he had the rare Spider-Man, which he's just ridiculous. So I had never really looked at him a whole lot. Super rare Spider-Man. I had never really looked at him a whole lot. Oh, he had that, the Robin that gets the free smoke cloud, and he had Titania. And he had 3 hammers as well. And we both dropped all our hammers at the beginning, and I saw how far he could move, and I could already, because he got to go first, and I could already tell he's going to get the strike on me big time before I can get to him. I'm already behind on pacing. Excuse me, because that Spider-Man can fly, and he can go like 5 squares with a charge.
I think
he's a flyer, and he ignores characters.
He's an 11 or a 10 movement with charge or something crazy.
He could get basically across the map from where he was at, and I couldn't do anything because I had just picked up my hammers. So I was in some trouble. So I decided I would send... At the beginning of the game, I looked at his cards, and the thing I wanted to look at on Spider-Man was, what is that attack ability? And he has Flurry, and if he hits both, he gets to give you an action token as well. Well, I looked at that and forgot to notice that he ignores characters. So I ran Monkey King up, and I dropped off Arrowette, and she cleared. So next turn, she's ready to pop Titania or Spider-Man. She had the hammer. She's ready to rock. And I tied up Spider-Man with Monkey King, who had a 16 reflexes, and I was like, yes! Like, I'm going to tie this guy up for a while, plus Monkey King had a hammer. I was like, I'm going to tie this guy up for a while, and Arrowette's going to get some shots in, and I might have a chance at actually pulling this off. Spider-Man just flies away and hits Tyr. Okay, Tyr and Skirn killed Tyr, his Titania and Skirn, or Titania and Spider-Man killed my Tyr in 2 turns. Just boom, boom, dead. Like the same turn. And he has like, what we said, like 9, 10 clicks. Like he has tons of clicks, and they just mowed right through him.
See, the one thing to take into account, though, is with that Spider-Man, as I said, when I ran him that first month that I pulled him, the issue I had is we weren't running with the hammers. And he's got like an 11 attack. You need to pick your targets with him wisely. Like, if it's hard to hit both those flurries, like unless you're specifically aiming for somebody that you have a 5 or a 6 needed to hit, like a 17 or 18. The problem I ran into was I ran against people that were running single big figures, which that Spider-Man wasn't as effective against, but with hammers, if you could knock him up to a 13...
Because he doesn't have Exploit, I don't think.
Yeah, he doesn't really get much penetrating.
But you drop him Curse and he could have Exploit.
Yeah, and Skaties.
See, the thing about Fear Itself that I like is the matches are over quick because everybody gets those hammers and goes up +2 attack, and you're not missing very often.
Yeah,
you know?
But I really like that because it makes the game... It doesn't just make it play fast, it puts a lot of thinking, because you can't just put a figure up in a bad place because they're going to get smoked. So you have to outthink, outplace, and outmaneuver your opponent in different ways, which it's really interesting.
So I made a rookie mistake, didn't realize that I couldn't tie that Spider-Man up, and I paid the price, and I pretty much just gave up from there. I mean, I played it out and I killed 1 or 2 people, but I ended up losing. So that was Thursday. Upcoming games we have this week at Wednesday at Game Preserve, which is in the Greenwood, Indianapolis area. From what time do we usually run? 6:30 to 9:30 or 6 to 9? 6 to 9.
6 to 9.
We're doing my fighting game scenario, which I ran one time at the dugout. It's really cool.
I love that scenario.
So I got to give credit to Glass Cabinet Films. A lot of Heroclix players know his videos and his YouTube channel. He has tons of awesome, useful resources on there. If you've never been to it, go check it out, especially if you're a newish player. It's Glass Cabinet Films. It's all one word on YouTube. He came up with this idea, and he does it on a small scale, and I kind of took it and blew it up on a much larger scale and test ran it at the dugout, and it was a blast. I didn't actually get to play it myself, although I did test all the teams, and I thought it was a blast, and then we did it. Everybody seemed to have fun with it, so we're going to do it at Game Preserve, and I'm going to try to get us to be able to do it at Comic Book University in the future as well. So basically how it works is it's kind of a Heroclix take on Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter, something like that. I have a sheet printed out that I made on Photoshop, and it looks like a character selection screen, kind of like for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or 2. It has one side's all Marvel and their little pictures, and one side's all DC. I have, I want to say, 18 choices or something like that on each side. I have tons of teams. Each one of those choices is a 300-point team that I have pre-made. And when, let's say, Austin and Drew get paired up to play, they come up to me, they each roll 2d6. Whoever gets the highest picks their character first. And if Drew picks Thanos, then I give him the team. He doesn't know what it is. I already have it pre-made. He picks Thanos, and then Austin picks whatever he wants. It doesn't have to be DC or Marvel. It can be whatever. And if he picks, let's say, Batman, so most likely my Thanos team is just one 300-point Thanos. And Austin's Batman team is going to be Batman and Nightwing and maybe like Oracle or a Robin or something like that. So all the teams are different. Some of them have 2 characters, some of them have 1, some of them have. I think my JLI team has 4 or 5. My Watchmen team has 5.
Iron Man has 4.
Now the way I balanced it out, I did it as best I could. I spent a lot of time. Tons of time trying to balance this thing out, and I feel like it worked out pretty well. Of course, you're not going to prevent, just like a real fighting game, there's always going to be a couple top-tier teams after you play it and you realize, and there's going to be a couple teams that aren't as strong. But one way I helped to balance it out was the weaker teams, I gave them a few extra points over 300, namely the Watchmen. There's not a whole lot of super powerful Watchmen figs, so their team is actually more like 330-ish, maybe even 350 at the most. But there's 1 or 2 teams I have in there that are only like 280, but they're really good, like 200-point War of the Light, Fast Forces Sinestro,
I love that team.
And Scarecrow from the Blackest Night set. Like, that team's only 280, but it's still a 300-point value, like a good 300-point team. And if you clear your opponent, you get a 300 on the dot regardless of how many points it is. So that's not going to affect your score. You play these matches, you play best out of 3 rounds, just like a fighting game style. So you have to win 2 out of 3. Each round is only 25 minutes long, and you start on these miniature maps that are the size of the Street Fighter maps, if anybody's ever seen them. I don't remember the exact dimensions, but they're like 6 by 18 or something. They're smaller. And I used my Street Fighter maps that I already have, and then I took full-size maps, extras that I had, and I cut out and made my own custom ones so that we can have a lot.
Screw the Joker's amusement park.
And yeah, I'm throwing that in the way. So there's no first round immunity. The objects are always put dead in the center of the map, 1 light and 1 heavy on your side, and then switched 1 heavy and 1 light on their side. And like I said, no first round immunity, so stuff can get pretty crazy. One thing I thought of to do whenever I was playing somebody, I had the Justice League team, which is the JL. Let's see, I have a JLA team and a plain Justice League team. The Justice League has Cyborg and Flash and Green Arrow, I think, or Green Arrow's on the Justice League America. Anyways, it was the Cyborg that sees through objects. And the objects in the middle of the map are just close enough to the starting area where he can sharpshoot energy explosion from them. And so, opening turn, I got to shoot from the object an energy explosion. His whole team was started off right next to each other, and unfortunately, I missed. But it would have done ridiculous damage.
Well, that's like
so no first round immunity is bonkers, but it's part of how it plays. I mean, it's meant to play differently.
Yeah, that Thanos, for instance, has like an 11 range or something. That map's really small. Like,
yeah,
he shoots like clear across it. So like, there's some fun stuff. The Green Lanterns, for instance, I think one of them's got TK. So like, you can TK somebody forward and just freaking blast.
Yep.
It's really fun. Like, I really enjoyed it.
It turned out really well. We're going to run it Wednesday. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. If anybody wants more details on this, I honestly need to videotape how they run so people can see how it goes. I mean, you're going to need to put a lot of time in, and it's a whole lot of figures. Like, each one of those 18 characters on the selection sheet, those are all individual teams that I had to build, and I have to keep together in these boxes. And if you have the resources to do it, luckily I have like every Heroclix known to man. But if you have the resources to do it, I definitely suggest it. Like, practice it and run it a few times. It's a blast to do, and we'll talk about it next week after we play. Talk about how it went. What's up?
I was gonna say the other thing I really like about it is it's great for new players, people who don't have good collections, or people who want to try Heroclix for the first time. It's nice because they get to pick a superhero they like, see how they play and stuff in the game, and try it out and learn.
Yes, and like when they show up, all you need is a pair of dice and and a couple tokens. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I got the objects, I got the maps, I got the pieces. We're ready to rock when you get there. And we just do 2 rounds depending on how much time your store has to play. Since we only have 3 hours, we're just going to do 2, I should call them matches. So, and then best out of 3, best 2 out of 3 on each match. And on your second match, I basically make the players play a team that they didn't play. They can't play the same team twice, the same team for their second match. That way, for one, it promotes them to try things different, but it also gives other people a chance to play the team.
And it helps stop, like, if something's imbalanced, like, really bad, they can't just keep picking it.
Yeah, true. Game. I mean, you're gonna part of why it's so fun is you get this.
What you get.
Yeah, you get this team that you don't know, and you're looking at their cards, and your brain instantly is thinking of, how can I work this guy with this guy to get something really good? Like, it's like Sealed, except it's instant Sealed.
That's what I loved about that Sinestro team, actually, because I hadn't sat and played with that Yellow Lantern Scarecrow yet, but I played the crap out of that Sinestro. So it was really fun seeing like how you position, how you set up the and with the new plasticity changes, I got to play around with that a lot, which normally you don't end up with a lot of that on figures, but there's a few of them in that I got to try out that I've never played before.
And then there's no clicks Thursday at Comic Book University. Saturday at the Dugout is going to be video game teams, named keyword, 500 points. That is also a Gen Con prep event. And if people don't have video game teams, I'm letting them use anything that is non-DC, non-Marvel. So they can run Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Pacific Rim, whatever they want to run, as long as Hello Kitty for all I care. Actually, that's not even out yet, is it?
No, it's not going to be. I don't think it's
Iron Maiden or whatever. But the people who bring their Gen Con teams, the video game teams, I'm going to match them up as often as possible so they can practice and get used to their team that they're going to play for Gen Con.
What sucks about this is that we were expecting BioShock to be out by now. I mean,
yeah. Austin's playing a BioShock team. I just want the BioShock clicks, period. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that setup.
I was probably going to play Founders team too.
Like, I'm going to be kind of blunt here with the whole video game thing. A lot of the older video game figures, or even a lot of the current ones, aren't that great. The BioShock has a solid power level, though, across the board. Like, they're good figures for their points. So honestly, I was trying to like. I don't want to say I'm trying to game the system, but I'm trying to pick figures that I know are going to be solid figures.
You could play. I mean, you could make a really good Halo team too. Our 500-point Halo teams were pretty
true.
good. And honestly, I'm playing the. I've never played any of the Gears of War clicks. I'm playing just one of each of the Locusts, and they're a perfect 500. I can't remember if it's 400 or 500 points for this event, but I'll double check.
It's 500.
I think it's 5. But they're pretty dang good too. That General Ram and the Cantus both are ridiculous.
General Ram I played against when Derek used to play there.
On the soldier team.
Yeah, he's really good.
That Ram does not want to die.
So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see what kind of teams show up. What all sets would be available for that? Street Fighter, Halo, Assassin's Creed.
Which the Assassin's
they're
Creed,
not that great.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They're like one of the chief examples of bad for their points. Like, one or two of the figures have really cool effects that you can abuse and like get cool tricks out of, but the rest of them are really meh. Those sets really disappointed me.
I guess for a 500-point team, you could build a decent... Like, there are a few decent pieces in there. Those Guardians are good tie-up.
Oh, I love like the 33-point guys that get the double or the flurry, and if they roll doubles or something, like they get to flurry again or something crazy.
One of the Ezio's is pretty good too. So you could play Street Fighter, Halo, Gears of War, Assassin's Creed, Bioshock if it comes out this week, which hopefully it will. Supposedly it was supposed to come out this past Wednesday, so
This
who
is
knows?
WizKids release schedule.
Yeah, this is WizKids. I mean, by this point, I was telling our store owner today, I'm shocked when they come out on time, so I'm not shocked whenever they're, that they're delayed yet again.
Supposedly, the rumors that are going around is that the Sandy really screwed up a lot of the distribution stuff for Alliance out on the East Coast, and they lost a lot of product. So they've been trying to rebuild, and it's left this ripple effect that's slowly getting better and better to try to resolve it. And so, like these are probably the last few sets we'll see that are weeks late, and they'll probably start getting more on time.
I would buy that if it wasn't the case even before Sandy.
That's true.
But anyways, so that's enough for our games. News. Let's get into some spoilers. Let's start with the Star Trek. We got 2 new spoilers. Now, these last week we talked about Star Trek pieces that were from the starter set. These pieces are actually from the main set, and they're both Borg pieces, which we talked about the Borg last week and their team ability, which gives a similar. Whenever a character with this team ability hits, it gives the opponent an assimilation token, and then you have certain combos with those tokens that give you extra damage or lower defenses or all kinds of crazy things. Go ahead.
Rules question: does Energy Explosion technically hit?
What do you mean?
If they had the Borg
Like
team
the
ability and
splash?
hit something, then hit somebody
Yes,
else?
that's why
So
it's
they can-
good.
Okay.
So with the Borg, so let's get into the Scout 608, which is number 2 in the set. It has energy explosion and 6 range. So if you shoot a what's the other Federation? If you shoot a Federation ship and it's next to 2 scouts of its own, you're going to hit all 3 of those as long as your roll.
Token,
yeah, as long as your roll hits all 3 of them, and they're all 3 going to take an assimilation token because yes, they are all hit. Actually, you know what? That would be as long as you do damage to the initial guy that you're targeting, because for energy explosion to kick in, you first have to deal damage to somebody with it, and then the energy explosion kicks in around. But yeah, it would give them all 3 an assimilation token.
That's awesome.
And that would help his damage ability, which is Perplex, but only to target opposing ships. If the ship is marked with an assimilation token, it can modify the chosen combat value by an additional -1.
See, I really like, as I said before, I really like the scouts that were in the starter set. And this is obviously the main set version because it's just scout with a different number. But these are going to be fun. Like, I actually think I might pick up a starter of this set. I might check it out a little bit, play some games. It's a really interesting ability and how it all plays off of it.
It only has 5 clicks. It's 50 points. No endom. It can fly, of course. It's a Star Trek. Everything flies. 6 range, 1 bolt. First 2 clicks it has energy, explosion, and toughness, and then the last 3 it has plasticity and steel energy.
With its damage power for the
With
first 3.
the perplex for the first 3, and it does 2 damage its whole entire dial.
Steel energy's a little weird on that. I guess like it's if you take some damage, like you go up close and you tie them up with it, because it's got plasticity, steel energy.
Yeah.
That's a little odd.
It has 10s and 9s on its attack, pretty much the whole dial. The second one that they spoiled is actually a really cool idea. It's called the Queen Vessel Prime.
The sculpt's awesome.
It's
it's
number
amazing.
27 for the set. It's 200 points, but it's pretty well worth its 200 points. Its trait is when it hits with an attack, damage delta is penetrating. It has phasing the entire dial, imperv, the first click, and then it gets a special defense ability. Queen Vessel Prime can use Invul and Mastermind. When it uses Mastermind, friendly ships with the board keyword within 4 squares in line of fire are considered adjacent.
I love
That's
special
pretty good.
masterminds like that.
Oh yeah. It has that for the majority of its style, and then it picks up some regen. It has a special damage ability, which I like the best because it adds a lot of flavor. It's called the Queen. It can use leadership and outwit. When it uses leadership, it can use prop control, but only for that role.
So it gets
Nice.
2 attempts at its leadership.
So it gets 2 tries at its leadership, and like we said, it's the Queen, so it kind of makes sense.
The only thing I don't like about this figure really is that I was hoping it would play off the tokens.
Yeah,
that's
you're
what I was
right.
gonna say.
And it's kind of like...
Out of all the other board pieces we've seen so far, they all have something that play off the tokens,
Yeah,
and
and
this
it was
one
kind of-
doesn't.
But the thing,
the traded penetrating is really...
the thing is, it's really strong on its own, and I don't think it necessarily needs a special thing with the team ability to
That's-
make it better.
That's true.
Yeah.
It also gives assimilation tokens when it attacks. So, and all
Right.
its attacks are penetrating. So I think that would be kind of overpowered.
Yeah, true.
It has 8 range, 2 bolts in Dom, and 8 clicks for 200 points. So it's worth its points.
Oh
Good
yeah, it's
piece.
definitely worth it for 2.
And I like the flavor with the leadership and the defense.
It's definitely flavorful.
What other news we get? Oh, we got a spoiler for Wolverine and the X-Men. It is M. The interesting fact about this piece is that it has both the shortest name in Heroclix and the longest name in Heroclix. M stands for Mademoiselle...
Marie.
Well, it starts off Monet, Yvette, Clarice, Marie, Therese, St. Croix. So it has both the longest and the shortest name. This is a cool character. I've only seen her in X Factor. I haven't really seen her in anything else, but I know a lot of X-Men fans know a lot about her. And she's a powerhouse.
She is.
She has a 200-point dial and a 150-point dial. For the 200-point dial, you get willpower traded your entire dial. She has invincibility on her first 2 clicks, and then the 150 dial she gets imperv and invul, and then she eventually drops down to a special invul and regen. She has perplex and outwit on the majority of her dial. And she has a special attack power. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6. On a 3 to 6, heal M of 1 damage. Oh, that's a free action. So she's got a pretty good chance of healing whenever she's on those clicks. Those are mid-dial. I like her a lot. I think she's worth her points.
Yeah,
Don't you guys
she's
think?
definitely worth it for 200.
She has charge first 2 clicks, hypersonic the first 2 clicks, or the next 2 clicks, another charge, and then 2 clicks of mind control.
And see, like, the traded willpower, what I like about traded willpower is it's removing an option from your opponent. Because normally, like, if you have Indom or willpower on your dial, they can outwit that. Traded willpower, they can't touch. There's no way to stop that.
Yeah.
So you're just, they're not given the option to slow you down with the figure. You're constantly going to be doing that second action.
Even at 150, she's pretty
Legit.
She's pretty worth it too. She has, she's going to start with hypersonic and super strength, 10
Battle
movement, 10 attack, battle fury. So
she doesn't even have range, so the battle fury is technically not really a loss. It's just a bonus.
true, and she can't be carried anyways because she's a flyer.
Yeah, I am privy, as I said, to the imaginary clicks you gain from Invincible. So having that on the top dial is really nice.
Yeah, you're not going to lose your 200 points with Invincible. That's the good thing.
Yeah, for 50 more points, she picks up 2 clicks, both with Invincible.
And traded willpower.
Yeah, and see, the one thing about Invincible, like the way to beat it, besides outwitting it, obviously, is just a hit for 2 with someone that's lower down. With her, she knocks right back onto another Invincible click. If you hit her.
And you can hit her onto Imperv. So
Yeah.
she's a pretty good piece. She's not only hits hard, but she also has that outwit and perplex a lot. And she has a possibility to keep healing up, too.
Solid
so.
keywords, too.
Yeah, she's a great piece.
Generation
She's
X,
number
X-Core, X-Factor.
54. I don't remember if she's going to be switch clicks or if she'll be a super rare.
She will.
I want to say super rare.
She's a super rare, yeah.
There's a gold name up there in the corner?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because silver's rare.
Well, let's see here. I got the thing pulled up. Yep, super rare.
Yeah, she's not a switch clicks, because they would have on the render, they would actually have terrain around her base if she was.
So that is M. She's very comic accurate. Lots of powers. She's a boss. Now, my favorite of the spoilers that we got this week are the individual Batman and Robin from the Batman Classic TV set. Last week we got the Batman-Robin duo.
Yep.
We thought it was okay. It was the sculpt is awesome.
The sculpt's amazing.
The piece wasn't horrible, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah,
These guys are freaking amazing.
They are.
In my opinion. Batman has lots of keywords: Bat Family, Celebrity, Detective, Gotham City, Martial Artist, Police.
3 starting lines.
The same trait on the double crits on double 3s, 4s, 5s, or 6. He has no range, just like we were complaining about the Batman and Robin thing. But you know what? I was thinking about this whenever I was looking at these two that got spoiled. The reason I think they didn't give him range is because if they had multiple bolts and they're crit hitting, that's an extra 1 damage on each person that's getting hit. So it might get a little ridiculous if they had, a couple bolts in range. They have a 100-point dial, which starts out with Charge Precision Strike. I love that.
That's amazing.
The main reason I love this Batman is because almost his whole dial, he has his special defensive power that adds a lot of flavor to him. When Batman is targeted by an attack, choose a color of a standard power that the attacker can use. Batman can use the defensive power of the chosen color until your next turn.
That's pretty
so
awesome.
The better that they have that they're coming at you
I
with.
heard you had poison. Oh, I now have imperv.
A Superman wants to hit me with hypersonic, he's going to have to deal with my impervious.
Yeah.
And if they're going to running shot you, they're going to have to give you invul. I just like that. I like and that's can use too, so that's going to be for traits.
Did you notice it's stackable?
Because
it's whenever they're attacked. So if 2 different characters hit them and you pick up like super senses and invul, or you pick up combat reflexes,
yeah,
it's until your next turn. So if multiple characters target him, you can jack 1 from each and every one, or if someone flurries you, you can take 2 different.
I wonder if when you picked them, if you would keep them. Yeah, I would. We'll look it up, but I think you're probably right.
Because a lot of characters that have like flurry tend to have like Quake or Exploit or something like that too.
And if somebody tried to hit you with Psychic Blast, you could choose Mastermind and Shape Change.
Hey Robin, take this!
So, this is a good piece. And it also has Outwit and Perplex as a special power.
When you're targeted, so you could take Shape Change and be pretty good.
True.
Yeah, Hunter, down there on the bottom dial, if you play it for 45 points.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Is that a sidestep 45-point Outwit Perplex dial?
Yes.
This is the most
What's a good
amazing
attack?
thing.
The only thing is he doesn't have stealth, but still a side.
So, I'm guessing that the 50-point dials are their rookie version, and the 45 points are their alter egos. Actually, it is, because there's the little AE symbol. So these are also alter egos, so that means we're going to get a Bruce Wayne, and we're going to get a Dick Grayson.
You can't start at the 45?
No, that's alter ego.
Okay, I couldn't tell if it was orange or yellow.
So you can either start with... And for 50 points, that dial's pretty good, too. Precision Strike, Plasticity.
Well, have you seen the sculpt of the Bruce Wayne in the...
No, it hasn't shown them yet.
They've been spoiled on the realms a little bit. It's them like standing at the bat phones and they're holding their phones and everything.
Oh goodness,
It's pretty good.
I love this guy at both point values,
seriously.
but especially at full points.
I hate the campiness of it, but I love the figure and the dial.
Yeah, he has an onomatopoeia. It says "pal" on his fist. Robin also has an onomatopoeia. It says "sock," and he's basically doing a shoryuken in the picture. It looks like, yeah, that's pretty much a shoryuken. He has Batman Family, Gotham City, Martial Artists, and Police. He also has crits on double 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, and he ignores characters on movement. I think he's better than Batman.
I want to bring up a cool point about his point values, though. You can start him at his alter ego click, because his alternate start value is his alter ego value. He's got 25 at his blue and his orange.
Yeah, but see, there's the blue die right there. So at the blue, if you start at...
Oh, the blue actually starts farther ahead than the alter ego does.
Yeah, that's how Batman was too. So at full points...
Batman cost more for his blue than his alter ego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for this 25 points, you're getting 4 clicks with leap, climb, reflexes. I mean, even just for tie-up for 25 points. Are you kidding me? Look at that.
It's pretty good.
Just for tie-up with the 17 defense and leap, climb. And then they hit him for a few, and he gets Flurry and his special attack power, Holy Blank Batman. Give Robin a free action, choose an opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire, choose a power action, a close combat action, or a range combat action. If the chosen character is given that type of action during its next turn, it immediately modifies its combat values by -1 for that turn, if not already modified by this effect. And you may remove an action token from Robin, so you're just shutting them down.
I would like to point out, read the flavor text for every one of his abilities. They all
they all say Holy. Holy Stampede, Holy Agility, Holy Encore, Holy Almost. So anyways, basically it's his way of shouting out Holy Psychic Blast Batman. So he's given Batman a forewarning on what's coming.
Now, what I'd like to point out about these figures having the multiple start dials, the one thing I really like about them is the duo we talked about. Having multiple starts mean you pick how it splits. If you want a stronger Batman out of it or a stronger Robin, you pick one of those two, which is really good. Having options for split and merge is always a good thing.
I love this guy. I feel like every time we get a Robin, aside from one in the Batman set and maybe one of the SOG one, they're all great pieces for their points. I mean, but same with Batman.
And he ignores characters. I mean,
Batman's and Robin's both are always almost always worth their points.
Charge ignoring characters on his top dial is nothing to be ignored either.
So very happy with these two guys. Fun and flavorful pieces. We got a lot of pictures that people took at San Diego Comic-Con. Excuse me. From a lot of sets, namely the Wolverine and the X-Men set. We got... Let's go. If you want to join us, go to hcrealms.com and go down to where it says Around the Net San Diego Comic-Con and click on these images and we can walk through them. There's a couple of Hello Kitties. We don't really give a crap. Let's skip through those. Now...
did you see the Spider-Man T-base? Are we going to talk about that today?
We can. I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! They have these figures, and they look to me like they're what's going to go on Heroclix, honestly, because look at the Kribo. Like, how many sculpts do we see that come off of that size?
Someone said that they're... someone pointed out that they're like these 4-inch figures they're actually releasing.
They are, but I still think
they do look like
these
Heroclix
sculpts. I mean, that looks like a giant or colossal sculpt, a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Set, and I mean, we haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a long time, but I used to love Yu-Gi-Oh! And I wouldn't mind having a few of my favorite old...
There are worse properties we could pick.
Well, that's
the way I see it.
That goes without saying.
Hello Kitty!
So, I mean, just for the nostalgia value, especially if their sculpts are that good. We saw some Kick-Ass 2 spoilers, and we will also go over the Kick-Ass 2 dials here in just a second. But we got some pictures of some of the sculpts there, and some Wolverine and the X-Men pictures, as well as a picture of the Trinity of Sin, and the Imperial team base. And not only that, cool. There is a picture posted that shows it filled out that we'll look at here later. And Lone Ranger clicks. Everybody's saying the movie turned out like complete garbage.
It did.
Did you see it? I haven't seen it.
No.
I don't really plan on seeing it. So that's it for that. And we will get into the Kick-Ass dials. So a guy got a hold of every Kick-Ass clicks and has pictures of the sculpts and the dials. Have you guys looked through these at all yet?
Oh yeah, they're really cool figures.
I love them. I mean, I was going to get them anyways because I love Kick-Ass, but especially after seeing these dials, my favorites were Dave and both Kick-Asses are good.
Oh yeah.
And the Hit
Chase
Girl,
one's amazing.
The Hit Girls is really good, and I liked Red Mist and Chris a lot too. He can alter ego into Red Mist. Just Red Mist for tie-up. He has Poison, 18 from Close Combat for 50 points.
Did you see
and Shape Change.
Did you see the Marquise sculpt? It's Colonel Stars and Stripes and his dog.
I remember seeing that.
They posted that like a month or two ago.
I remember seeing it.
It's a really cool sculpt.
I kind of want that Marquis.
I haven't read through Kick-Ass's second series yet.
It's good. It's not as good as the first, but it's definitely worth reading. I have them over there in that box if you want to read them.
Well, It's one of those, like, these figures, though, like, they fit the characters that I know. They did a really great job with them overall.
There's also a Pog, it looks like, for Eisenhower,
the
his dog. This one guy I was actually really excited for, Black Death, number 7. He's only 35 points just for tie-up alone. 18 defense shape change for 35 points on his top click. That's ridiculous. And then if you hit him for 3 or 4, you're knocking him onto poison plasticity
What's
with
purple
toughness.
movement again?
Force blast.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think he's definitely worth 35
Oh,
points.
yeah.
I second that one.
That's ridiculous.
And then he drops on a poison toughness.
All of these guys are awesome. Oh, this Miranda chick's pretty good too for only 50 points. Charge, Quake, Super
Oh yeah, her
Senzus.
knockback can't be ignored.
Yeah, that cannot be ignored by charge or reflexes. So, some really cool pieces. If you want to give them a look, again, go to hdrealms.com, and the title is KA2 Figures, Styles, and Cards. So, WizKids, they were talking about this. I think I heard on a different podcast forever ago that they're calling it KA2 because they're not allowed to say at.
They're not allowed to have a giant box that says Kick-Ass.
Exactly. Well, not only that, on the actual cards, like on Kick-Ass's name, it's kind of...
Well, that's what they
It
call him,
looks
Dave.
like dollar sign. Right, they call him Dave.
And
But in
Nightmares
parentheses, it
is
says
Bongo,
Kick-Ass underneath. But even the tiny little S's have dollar signs. Like, they're very picky about how they're...
Censoring it.
Yeah,
It's
censoring
understandable.
it. It's understandable. So that's all the main news that we have for this week. Now, what's up?
Black King.
Oh, we're going to get into that. So all the X-Men news we're going to do in our main topic.
Okay.
Our main topic is Wolverine and the X-Men set. We're going to go over what's been spoiled over the last few weeks, and we're going to talk about each of our top 10 most wanted pieces that we wanted when we heard that a new X-Men set was coming out.
Oh, buddy.
Let's start off with our top 10 most wanted. So, basically, when you hear that an X-Men set is coming out, before you even see any of the spoilers, knowing they've already said is going to come out, who did you want top 10 most wanted?
I will, given the Prime system and how they've been handling it, where like Primes are their alternate versions or like different paint jobs of the same sculpt, I really wanted a Gambit as the Horseman of Death. I love the Horseman figures; they're all really powerful figures, and it's nice to have more figures to fill out that team. I really wanted a Forge though. Forge is that one character that I've wanted a good figure for a long time. And he's got such a cool ability with how he handles like mechanical things.
Yeah.
I was thinking they could even just do something kind of like what Gizmo has, where
That's what I was
he
thinking.
sits, he tinkers on something, and then he buffs everybody with the ability.
Was he in? He was in Giant Size X-Men, wasn't he?
Forge? I don't think they gave him a figure.
I'm not... Oh, you mean Heroclix?
Yeah.
Or the comic Giant Size X-Men?
Here it goes.
I don't think so. Let me see if there is even
Yeah,
ever
because
been
I
a
don't
Forge.
think he's ever been printed.
The main thing I've seen him in is old X-Force books and the current Cable and X-Force series.
Yeah.
He was dead for quite a while there.
I almost put him in my my top 10 as well. There is a Forge figure. It's Sinister 085.
Is that pre-card?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
Sinister, yeah.
He's okay, but he's not that great. I mean, I guess for how old he is, he's not too bad. But anyways, so Forge is one of them.
Exodus. Exodus is the leader of the Acolytes, which are like the hardcore, super extreme version of the Brotherhood. I was really hoping to see an Exodus that like changes a team ability of Brotherhood to Acolytes or something like that. We've seen a sculpt for one though, so we know there's one in the set at least.
I don't know much about Exodus myself.
He shows up a little bit. Like he showed up in one of the recent X-Men books for a short period of time, actually, when they attacked the school. Which X-Men?
Wolverine and the X-Men?
No, it wasn't Wolverine and the X-Men. Drew, you've been reading.
That's the main one about the school. I read all the X-Men books right now. I haven't been keeping up with them hardcore over the last 10 years or anything, but...
It's one of the Marvel Now runs. Basically, Exodus leads a group of Brotherhood to attack the school with, what's the giant tree guy?
Oh!
Black Bard or whatever.
Yeah.
He attacks with them and stuff, and he's an interesting character. And like his power, he's like an Omega level, I'm pretty sure. And he's just got a really good mix of powers. He's a powerful telekinesis, telepathic kind of person. Scalp Hunter, which was in the poll, and Sunfire were both in the poll.
Yeah, a lot of people want Scalp Hunter.
I like Marauders a lot, and once again, I have Mr. Sinister on the list. I wanted a nice, cheap, non-worlds fancy Mr. Sinister. Just wanted to fill out teams.
Mm-hmm. Nothing against that Mr. Sinister because he is great.
Oh, he's a great figure.
He's just so expensive; it's hard to play around him.
And I like figures, as I said with that Exodus. I like figures that change team abilities. I like that Reed Richards that changes everyone's Fantastic Four and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see a Mr. Sinister that changes Brotherhood to like Marauders or something. You could do some fun stuff with it. I want a good Bishop. He's got energy redirection powers and all this stuff. And the one thing WizKids always seems to drop the ball on is energy redirection. Like any character that, like Miss Marvel and a few others like that, they never seem to get their powers right. So I want to see a cool Bishop with a cool effect. Azazel, they have never printed him, Nightcrawler's father. He's never gotten a figure.
He is pretty BA.
Yeah, he's cool. I feel like they could do some fun stuff with him too. And like, there's kind of a lull in like demonic characters. Like there really weren't any in ASM. There were like a few. I can't even think of any offhand.
Damon.
Well, Damon, yeah.
Trigon.
I mean, like demonic looking characters. Like you got Trigon, yeah.
Mephisto.
Oh yeah, but Mephisto's a holiday figure, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the.
There's also a really bad version of him in.
Yeah, you're right. I can't think of what set it was.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah. And then my last two, I want to see the Apocalypse Twins kind of, just because it'd be cool to have a nice duo or a merge or a split or whatever. What about you, Drew?
Okay, my number 10 is Lockheed and Kitty Pryde duo. I think that'd be pretty neat.
Also on my list as well.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. My number 9's Marrow. I think you could do some pretty cool stuff with
Marrow from MVC2. She's on. That's awesome character.
Marrow, my number 8's Cable. The thing about Cable is he's got like two pieces. He's got the duo with Deadpool, and he's got the gravity feed from Giant Size X-Men.
No, that's a LE.
Is it on?
And I have him. He's like $25 to get a hold of.
Expensive.
There is also the REV set of him in Mutant Mayhem, and I have the middle one, and it's not bad. I think we played it when we did our Civil War event.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't bad.
But
we don't. Now that Giant Size X-Men is rotated out, we do need a modern X-Men, modern Cable.
Yeah.
I do want to see like a cool like Cable Hope kind of duo of some sort. I think they could do some cool stuff with that too.
My number 7's Omega Red.
Good choice.
God, a good Omega Red, give him giant reach and like flurry or something crazy.
I mean,
there is a good Omega Red. I have him. Yeah. Let me find him here on the unit section. He still holds up pretty well. He's number 38 in Mutations and Monsters.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
4 range. He's a little expensive, but he has charge and blades for his first 3 clicks with Invul. But his cool thing is he has poison and flurry for like 5 more clicks, and he has a special power called Leech. Each time an opposing character takes damage from a close combat or range combat made from Omega Red, heal him of 1 damage. This power is not optional.
So you just get steel energy at range.
You get steel from close and ranged.
Yeah, I feel like they could with powers and stuff, they could do some really cool Omega Red figures.
He still holds up decently well.
Yeah. My number 6 is Ahab, the X-Men villain.
Good choice.
Ahab's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Ahab's pretty badass.
Look at my, number 5's Captain Britain.
That's pretty much a given because there's Excalibur team base coming out.
But
he is really cool.
What did you tell me, Hunter?
You're right. You're right.
I'm just telling you what I wanted.
You know what Team Base Hunter really wants?
Look up the previous Captain
Tell me
Britain
what you want.
Me.
What you really, really want.
No,
look up the previous Captain Britain and tell me if that's a good piece, because it's not.
Let's look at Captain Britain.
Spoiler, gosh. You haven't even got to it yet, and you're telling me what it's going to be.
Avengers 003. He has Ultimate's team ability. That's good. Charge, basically full dial. Kind of crappy values. He's not horrible, but he's not amazing.
I don't like him.
I like
Number 4 is Multiple Man.
Oh, good choice.
We've already seen a sculpt for...
You Madrox?
there?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys gotta understand, I have not looked at these
at
all. I don't care. I'll look at them later.
We're just...
You're raining on my...
No, we're trying to make you happy that we're telling you that
they're already... Man.
I'm pretty stoked there is
a Multiple Man.
I'm pretty stoked there is a Multiple Man, I'm not gonna lie. Number 3 is Wendigo. They haven't done anything with him. I mean...
I don't know.
Didn't they say that he was gonna be in Invincible Iron Man?
That's Sasquatch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You're getting your Yetis and your
I'm
Sasquatches
getting my
mixed
Yetis
up.
and Sasquatches.
Gosh, I figured you of all people would know.
But
about
wasn't
big, hairy
he?
men.
Was he in Alpha Flight as well?
I don't know.
Wendigo?
It's like I know my Canadian
Because that's
superhero
why.
teams.
That's why I'm
Hey,
saying
Wendigo's
that.
awesome.
Well, that's why I'm saying
I think
that
he might have been an Alpha Flight.
because they said the Alpha Flight was going to be a thing, so that's why I'm saying I thought he
Alpha
was going to
Flight's
be. Go ahead with your. list.
Number 2 is someone who, like, he's my favorite X-Men. It's Sabretooth. Like, I don't want an X-Men set without Sabretooth.
That's true, and you don't want a Wolverine set without Sabretooth either.
Like, yeah. It's Wolverine in the title. How can you not have Sabretooth? It's super rare.
Yeah,
no.
I concur.
Number 1 is Silver Samurai.
I hadn't thought about
I did not think about him either. I commend you on Silver Samurai because I totally forgot about
He's
him.
so awesome, and he just needs to be clicked. I mean, I think he's been clicked once, but it's old.
I have that old figure, and it's not
Good.
great.
But Silver Samurai is sweet. Yeah.
Wasn't there a slightly newer version of Silver Samurai? I thought. Oh no, just Explosion and Universe, and yeah, they all kind of suck.
Wasn't Universe just a reprint of a bunch of different sets, or was that classic?
Yep,
Yeah,
it is.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, so that version, like, see, he's not bad for 40 points. He's
He's
6
not.
clicks, he's got blades.
The veteran version's not bad. The rest
But
of them are
this
pretty.
was before they could do anything with his power set. And,
Exactly.
And he's got a really cool power set.
Give him a
so
badass sculpt because he looks like a
Great
badass.
blades.
Just what I want.
Good
man.
list.
What I really, really want.
Very good number 1. My list, like I said, my number 10 was also Lockheed and Kitty, which there is going to be a Kitty on the Excalibur team base. We'll get into that later. And Lockheed supposedly will come with the Excalibur team base, and it's just like the Flock of Bats. It's a little one.
He slides on
He has
it.
one click, and it's kind of set up the same way. Another one of mine is Brew. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a new character. He's in Wolverine and the X-Men, which I've been reading, which is awesome. If anybody hasn't read it yet, go read it, especially with this set coming out. A lot of pieces from it are going to be in the set. He's of the alien race, the Brood, who are like these little brown guys, like who just rape and pillage and kill and eat everybody. But he's like very sophisticated and intelligent. Like he wears glasses to make himself look smarter, and he's like very proper.
Who he reminds me of?
He gets picked on by
He
everybody.
reminds me of the butler that John Constantine has in the traveling house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. He's a very, I mean, fighting wise, there's a point in the book where he gets pushed to his edge and he like flips out and tries to kill somebody. Like he acts like a Brood, and so I mean that you could symbolize him as a Clix. I just love it. He's my favorite of the students in that book. He's my favorite student. We need a Toad.
Are we getting one? Hunter?
We're getting a leech.
We are getting a Toad. We will get into that. Supposedly, this guy looks just like Toad, and everybody's saying it's going to be Toad.
Yeah, you're in on my parade. I'm going to rain on yours.
I'll show you that. There was no Toad in GSX. I don't even know.
They just need to give him.
I don't even know if he's ever been clicked yet. Clobber in Time. There's a REV of him. My God, look how ugly that thing is.
A classic set.
They need one that like does a ranged attack and pulls someone to him. And stuff.
There's a
Give
lot
him
of cool
plasticity.
things. Definitely
Oh
plasticity.
man, that'd be
Maybe
such
some
a fun
poison.
figure.
Plasticity poison. Pull them in to plasticity poison.
And
Just give him Wonder
The one
Girl
thing
like
I'd like to
that.
bring up that I love about the X-Men sets is you get lots of weird little special abilities on cheap figures.
Yeah.
They're like short dials, but they're cheap figures, and you build really interesting.
Like
teams.
Trevor Fitzroy. Wink, wink.
I knew there would be a good chance we would get a Toad because he's also in Wolverine and the X-Men. He's the janitor. He's hilarious.
Toad's amazing.
I gotta read it.
I wanted a Magic, but I actually wanted one that symbolizes her new-ish version, not the New Mutants version. We already know we're getting one.
I wonder if they're gonna do that.
No, I don't think they will because think about it. There's already going to be a Phoenix 5 chase of it.
But the Phoenix 5 chase has a revert. Is she gonna revert to her New Mutants version?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Wasn't, like, in the. I don't think she.
Supposedly, there's like 10 slots left that we don't know anything about on the Wolverine X-Men set, but I would be... There's only one Wolverine so far. Why would there be 3 Magics?
That's true.
But I wish they would. I wish they would put a Marvel...
What about Gravity Feed?
Marvel now. She's not
oh,
on
wait,
the
the whole
Gravity
Gravity Feed's been spoiled.
Yeah,
right?
she's not on the Gravity Feed.
I'm kind of sad because I really would like to see like a veteran, experienced Magic with like really cool limbo powers.
I want a Hope figure,
There's a Hope
which is going to be coming up. Legion, I was looking forward to. We already talked about Legion here on the podcast. Agent Brand. Agent Brand is the leader of Sword, and Sword you used to only see Sword in X-Men books. You didn't really see it in anything else. Astonishing X-Men, it was real big in that. She's a cool character. She's kind of like a female Nick Fury, almost except more of an asshole. Like
I like her personality is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the lines she says are just great. Like they could make a really cool figure.
But what I was saying is, you used to only see Sword in X-Men. Now you see it in Avengers books all the time. It's getting like
because Avengers is getting very cosmic.
Right,
and stuff like
right
that.
now you're seeing the Sword a lot more. So I was really thinking that there might be a Agent
I feel
Brand.
like they're going to be really huge in the Infinity arcs when they get to them too.
I want a Rachel Gray. They can call her Phoenix. They can call her Rachel Gray.
Yeah.
Actually, I think she is in the set. She's called Phoenix, and we'll talk about it later.
Are you talking like Rachel Gray and like her schoolmaster, awesome red trench coat? Or are you talking like
with the sword, with the psychic sword? That's the Rachel.
Oh my gosh,
that's the one I would prefer,
figure.
but I'll settle for a Phoenix version, the old school version. I want Deathlock from the Uncanny X-Force / Wolverine and the X-Men.
Is that the one they spoiled already? They have an X-Force Deathlock spoiled.
Yeah, I think so. He's from Remender's run, and he's really awesome. And Kid Gladiator is also in Wolverine and the X-Men, and I just figured there would maybe be a decent chance we would get one with the whole Imperial Guard team base and them saying that Shi'ar is going to be a sub-theme, and he's one of the main students in the series. But so far we've seen the Imperial team base, and it doesn't look like he's going to be on it, so therefore I'm thinking he's probably not going to be in it.
The Imperial Guard's very, very large.
My number one... Well, he was never on Imperial Guard anyways.
No.
He's the son of Gladiator.
He's just Shi'ar related.
He's the son of Gladiator, who leads the Shi'ar. My number one want is Phantom X, and they just yesterday I got an email saying they're going to be spoiling him on the Heroclix Online, so he's definitely going to be in the set.
Awesome.
Phantom X is one of my favorite X-Men characters of all time. I have his first appearance on my shelf up there, signed and everything. I love Phantom X.
12 Days of Clicksmith, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Go look it up. I'm pretty sure they have the sculpt up because I remember seeing Phantom X.
If nobody knows who Phantom X is, he's a freaking badass. Read Uncanny X-Force with Remender if you really want to get the most out of Phantom X, because even though that storyline is about all kinds of stuff, it really is mainly kind of about Phantom X, really. And he has misdirection powers, and they could do a really cool, some kind of Clix power with that. Basically, he can make you think that you're in a fine situation, really like you're getting killed. Like he tricks. It's kind of like mind control on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It's basically Inception.
Yeah.
Like you're in a world that doesn't exist.
I kind of wonder if he would be like kind of like Batmite, where he uses in-cap, and if he targets someone, like they can't target him or something like that, so like they can't see them.
12 Days of Clicksmith. Let's just go to images.
Yeah, there's the Wolverine, the X-Men 1 second picture. No, I mean go up at the top, right there.
Well, here's all of them, all 12. Wolverine and the X-Men.
Click on the higher resolution.
There he is, right there.
Right there in the bottom left.
Yep. I never saw this part of the 12 Days of Clicksmith.
Yeah. I was going to say, I knew the sculpt was on it.
So, anyway, yeah. So, Phantom X is my number one want. I'm very psyched that he is for sure going to be in it. I definitely wanted him. I even recently, whenever I was working on my Walking Dead dials, I was going to just make a custom Phantom X because I was like, they're never going to make them. But he's been getting a lot of attention lately in the comics that he never used to get attention. He's one of the main characters in the current Uncanny X-Force series, but now he's split. If you know anything about him, he has 3 different personalities that all reside in one brain. It's really complicated, but it's really awesome. And now he has split them with his machine. And so you have the female, you have Cluster, you have Phantom X, and then you have Agent X, who's like his... I don't want to say his evil side, but his side that has all the misdirection powers and kind of... Yeah, it kind of is his evil side.
His wicked side.
He's an awesome character. He's really complicated.
I'm liking how much X-Force we're seeing in this set so far. Like, I mean, I know how depressed you are at the lack of an X-Force team base.
I'm trying to avoid that subject on... when we went on our Gen Con rant, that's when all the cursing happened. I really don't want to...
You know what? I wish we had, 50 more X-Men related team bases, but there's one specific one I think Hunter really wanted that he's going to, cry over. What do you think it could be?
X-Force.
Okay.
Hunter, I'd take an X Factor team base over the X Force. Just
I don't blame you. I'd like an X Factor. I like X Factor as well. Now, that was my top 10. Here's another interesting thing, though. GSX just rotated out. We need a new Krakoa map.
Oh, God.
And Krakoa, a child of Krakoa, is currently residing. That's what the school...
I think they'll do a really cool school grounds map. They're bound.
Yeah, the school is on Krakoa right now,
Yeah.
the Wolverine and the X-Men. It's a big part of the initial arc of the series.
The Jean Grey School or the Xavier School? 'Cause
The
I think
Jean Grey
there's two
School.
different ones now, isn't there?
Xavier is what Cyclops and his group call their school, even though it's not really an actual school. It's just their little hideout. Jean Grey School is the original.
Even though it's too new, I like the big fat guy that his powers, he generates the giant gold orbs.
Oh, he already got kicked out. Did you see that?
No!
He basically
Spoiler.
gave up. He wanted to go home, so he went.
Aww,
Yeah.
it would be so much fun.
He goes home and he tries to tell his family that he's a mutant, and they're all blaming it on the X-Men, and he flips out and gold balls just shoot out everywhere.
I like, what was
He's
it?
such a weirdo.
The other guy that's there calls him Ball Boy or something. He's like, that name better not stick. And then
That's such a weird power.
The next issue, it's labeling their names, and it has Ball Boy with a question mark.
Alright, so there's our top 10s. Now we're going to go over what has been spoiled for the set here in the last few weeks. Now we're actually on the forums of HC Realms, and we're in the Wolverine and the X-Men forums on upcoming sets. Let's see. Well, we just got confirmation on Black King, which is Sebastian Shaw. It is not the new Black King, so if anybody has been reading Wolverine and the X-Men, the current run, the Hellfire Club is actually kids.
Oh, really?
And he's a little badass. I mean, it's really interesting. I know a lot of probably people who've been reading X-Men since they were in diapers, they probably hate that it's not Sebastian Shaw and the old school people, but this is a really cool take on the Hellfire Club. But it looks like the figure that we're getting actually represents Sebastian, and we'll open up his page here, and we were talking about him
on HCO.
Yeah, we were talking about him today. He's a BA.
He's ridiculous.
Slap a gauntlet on that sucker and go to town.
So he's 165 points. He has 11 clicks, and he gets better as he takes damage.
Politician keyword. We don't see that too often.
Politician and ruler. He has a trait that when he takes damage from an opponent's attack, remove up to that many action tokens from him. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. And as you're hitting him, he gets better. He has first 4 clicks. He has sidestep, toughness, and outwit. Then he gets 4 clicks of charge, invul, and empower. And then his last 3 clicks are hypersonic, really good attack values, really good damage values, and impervious and invincible.
You could mastermind to him. You could do all kinds of stuff. Heck, if you drag him along with magic for her teleport, you could deal the damage to him just to take a token off of him.
No, it says when
An
takes
opponent.
damage
win an opponent?
from an opponent's attack.
So it would have to be mastermind. Mastermind would work, but the magic thing wouldn't at least.
I think he's good. I don't know why he has hypersonic. That doesn't make any sense.
His last click is stupid.
I haven't read a ton of old school X-Men, but I read enough to know that he shouldn't have hypersonic.
Doesn't he do matter manipulation or something like that?
Kind of. I mean, they kind of dabble in mystical arts too, but I still don't think he should
He's
have
got a
hypersonic.
6 hypersonic, 12 attack, 19 imperv.
Anyways, good
5 close combat expert.
good figure overall.
He's
The Black Queen is going to be Celine Shaw, and let me see if I can find the page. We got to looking at Toad and all this other stuff, and I lost my place here. So Celine is going to be the Black Queen. I don't think we got a dial for that yet. Deathbird. You guys haven't read Wolverine and the X-Men?
Nope.
Deathbird is a really cool piece. She's a Shi'ar. I don't think she's on the team. No, she's not on the team base. She is the guardian for Kid Gladiator, and she's a really cool person individually.
I was just reading the post that's on here. Cyber was the one we looked at last week, right? With the
Yes.
Okay, as he points out, the gravity feed description play as Wolverine, Colossus, and more as you fight against Lady Deathstrike, Cyber, and others. That means Cyber's confirmed for the gravity feed, doesn't it?
He was a gravity feed piece. I thought.
Was he?
Wasn't he?
yeah.
I thought that was main set Cyber because we were talking about playing him in sealed.
Maybe there's 2.
there's good hope for a nice one, but more Weapon X for the win.
Yeah, I don't really want another one. Why would we need 2 Cybers?
I don't know. Why do they make most Gravity figures?
I know, but I feel like in the Gravity feed, I want either an alternate version of a character. Here's what I want out of this set. How many Wolverines do we have that are 100 points or within 90 to 110? Every one of them.
Yeah.
Think about it. The only lowerish point one is the
Iron Man Cap Dilemma.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Fast Forces, the hand Wolverine. Fast Forces GSX 75 point. That's a pretty solid piece. But really, other than that, they're all around 100 points or 90-ish points. I want either a really cheap one or a really expensive one, like a 150, just him in Berserker mode.
I want a Sergeant Logan World War II Wolverine. I think that would be awesome.
That's what I want Gravity feats for, though. I want alternate version. You need more playability, and I want generics. Yeah. Those are 2 things I want. I don't want another new character that. Yeah, it's good that we got an Unclicks character, but who really wants 2 Cybers? Like, even Cyber fans don't want 2 Cybers in this freaking set. They want other X-Men pieces that they want. But yeah, maybe we'll get... I mean, that one wasn't bad, but we personally don't think it's all that great.
I'm hoping for a cheap one.
Now, we were talking about the Imperial Guard team base earlier. It is actually spoiled. So what I'm going to do, guys, all these pictures that we're looking at, I'm going to try to link them on the on our Podbean site. If anybody wants to look at them with us and look at what we're talking about.
That's cute. You have Phantom X in full caps with a bunch of exclamation marks. I wonder which one you're excited about.
I said he's my number 1 want, man. All right.
I was expecting a heart over the top of it and a big circle.
So, somebody got a perfectly up-close picture of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard team base.
Dear God.
Look at the detail on this thing. It has like a throne room basically behind it, and a palace with steps coming up to it. You've got Gladiator in the center. He's huge. And then you have the rest of the team. So, confirmed for the team. Now, I was doing some research, and I remembered seeing 3 or 4 of these guys. This is the group that was running during the Realm of the King events that happened right after War of the Kings. You've got Gladiator, Hussar, Smasher, Warstar, Oracle, Manta, and Starbolt.
Is a Warstar or whatever the big robot guy?
I'm not 100%
because if I
sure.
recall, people were talking about the fact that like the sculpt itself, they went so far into detail. They have like a little alien guy on him and all this other stuff. Like the detail on these figures is ridiculous. Like they did a great job with these.
There's so bad.
I just want a giant robot.
Drew and I are happy. There is a Madrox and a Shadowcat for sure.
Yep.
There's a little blue. So it's not called Kitty. It's called Shadowcat. But we don't really. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Is that during Shield days? Or
that's her Excalibur. Yeah, Excalibur shield. That's her dress. Now Madrox looks pretty.
Oh, I was gonna say his sculpt's
got an awesome trench coat action going on here.
I, for one, can never get tired of figures in trench coats.
Plus, you're getting your Gambit in the trench coat. They could have put Rogue in a trench coat. She wore Jubilee.
I told you.
Everybody used to wear a trench
Summers
coat.
In a trench coat.
Put Sabretooth in a trench coat, and I will just cream my pants.
I'm gonna scoot over a little.
We got a picture. Okay, so on the side of the Gravity feed box that was at San Diego Comic-Con, somebody noticed the little pictures, and we've got. Look, that is Cyber. Yeah, so Cyber's on the side of the Gravity feed box. We also have Toad right there, so Toad definitely confirmed for at least the Gravity feed. And then this guy is the Shi'ar. Now, that looks like a male to me. At first, I thought it was Deathbird. I think it's probably, if I had to make a guess, it's probably a generic Shi'ar.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. A generic Shi'ar would be a cool figure.
So that's not confirmed. We haven't seen a dial or announcement, but that's just going off the picture on the side of the Gravity feed box.
From
Again,
this view, that Madrox looks even cooler.
Yeah, he does. I'm going to post all of these, like I said, on the Podbean side if you guys want to look at them with us. We also, in the Kick-Ass Clicks, there's actually a Big Bertha hidden in there that wasn't supposed to be in there with the Kick-Ass Clicks.
Oh my
well,
God.
They were half and half. They set half Kick-Ass, half Wolverine next to each other.
Oh, let me show you.
Because I saw that Bertha and laughed. Because there's
Deathlock.
That's
okay.
Deathlock, yeah.
And then you got some Kick-Ass Clicks here in the front.
And then Deathstrike there on the right.
And then Lady Deathstrike. It is sweet.
I told you.
That's nice.
And then you got Big Bertha back here in the back. I don't know if you...
Blob's mama.
I've seen Big Bertha here and there in X-Men comics. The main thing I remember from her is there's this Deadpool Christmas special that I have where he's like fighting the Great Lakes Avengers, and he's making so many fat jokes and so many sex jokes as Squirrel Girl. It's one of my favorite comics of all time.
That Big Bertha sculpt literally makes me sick to my stomach.
It is pretty gross. It's far worse than the Blob, the old GSX Blob.
Even though he's in a unitard, it looks better than that.
So we got Toad. We don't know if Lilandra is going to be in it, or if Lilandra, which is Xavier's ex-wife, the lady who used to terrorize the X-Men back in the 90s, and I think late 80s. She was pretty much her and like Nimrod, like that. Those were like kind of the main villains back in the day.
What a cool Nimrod.
I will be surprised if Nimrod's not in this set at all, personally. He's just too big of a villain, and has he ever been clixed? I don't think.
Nimrod?
I don't think he has. Let's check real quick.
There's an old figure of him, I remember, because I think I was going to build a team.
Number 90 Fantastic Forces,
Yeah.
264
Because I was asking you if you owned him, and he's expensive.
He's not shabby.
He's got outwit.
But I mean, he's a $17 figure for...
Yeah, he's got outwit. He's got 10 clicks outwit on almost all of them. He has Pulse Wave with 10 range running shot. I mean, he's not too bad.
I want him.
For old figure, he's not too bad.
Pink as hell.
If you have an FF090 Nimrod, hit me up.
Colossus is confirmed he is going to be a common. He got spoiled on Heroclix Online. We have a picture of his dial here.
I'm just glad they're spoiling stuff on HCO to
the
give it attention.
marquee figure's pretty sweet too. The Colossus and Kitty Pryde duo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, you can't have one without the other. I know they're not really together right now. They haven't been for a couple years, but you can't have Colossus without Kitty. Come on. How long is this going to last in comics? They got to get back together. Colossus.
So one of them dies.
Shut up. Colossus has.
He has defenders.
He has charge. He has super strength in most of his dial. He has invincible his first 2 clicks, then invul, then toughness. He has empower, and mixed with some close combat expert, and he has indom for 100 points. That's pretty good.
7 clicks, 2 clicks of indom.
He's a common. Him and Sealed, dude. I'll play him all the time.
I'll play him any day. And those keywords, you could play off those so well. Excalibur, X-Men, Defenders, Acolytes. I like Acolytes, as I said with Acolytes earlier. That'll be fun to see.
Very happy with him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Well, there will be a chase version of him for the
There's a chase.
for the Phoenix 5. Yeah. So, Phantom X. Let me see if they spoiled his dial. I don't think they spoiled Phantom X's dial. I think they just showed that he will be the upcoming next spoil for Heroclix Online. Let's see.
There's a sculpt.
They have the sculpt in high definition, and it looks pretty BA. It says this week's figure was Black King. Phantom X will be available Thursday, August 1st through the 7th. Okay, they're going to tell you the day it's going to be and then give you a week long. I'm assuming next week he will be spoiled.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Really, I couldn't tell by the exclamation marks.
And then the Excalibur team base.
Are those hearts by Phantom X?
Now, Excalibur team base, somebody got a good shot of it from San Diego Comic-Con up close. Okay. There's your Kid
cool.
Britain.
I love him.
There's your Nightcrawler with a really awesome teleport effect behind him.
What?
I think that Rachel Summers is damn sexy.
That's Phoenix, Rachel Summers, so at least I got a Rachel Summers.
I see the little Lockheed.
There's the little Lockheed. There's Megan, Captain Britain's girl.
Yeah.
And looks like she fits right there. She's kind of
that
got the
water effect is so cool, dude.
These team bases,
they stepped it up.
The sculpts look great. I mean, a lot of the Teen Titans ones look pretty good too.
Yeah, but this is still.
These are they did a lot.
These
of
are even
semi-transparent.
Although, what is this purple?
That's where he probably snaps on.
It looks like a butthole. Look at it. It looks like an anus. There's a purple anus.
Nightcrawler's anus there.
Purple anus effect
That's where,
there on the front.
Lockheed probably sits with a little poof behind him.
It could be It could be representing Nightcrawler teleporting,
Actually, yes. That
like
does make
from
sense.
there to the back of the team base.
See, I wasn't kidding when I said it was Nightcrawler's anus.
So-
I spend so much time trying to
Oh,
clean
goodness.
up the Heroclix.
I don't know what you're talking
And we end
about.
up with discussing
this
anuses.
this podcast will forever remain the way it is, and that's just how it's going to be. So just deal with it.
You're never gonna change me, kids.
All right, so
Speaking of Leonard Skinner, Hunter.
so real quick, I'm going to read over the figures that we for sure have gotten confirmed either by official spoils from WizKids or from evidence threads of people finding pictures of them, like at the cons and
It's
stuff.
gonna be in.
So, known figures: Archangel, Beast, Big Bertha, Bishop, Black King, which is Sebastian Shaw version, Black Queen, which is Celine, Cannonball,
Sweet.
Captain Cannonball he's on
the
the
New
team
Mutants.
base.
Yeah,
New
New
Mutants. Captain Britain, 2 Colossuses, the Phoenix 5 and the Common, Colossus and Shadowcat duo, which is on a single base. That's awesome. We'll be able to carry it and TK it. Cyber, it says listed in the CTD. Now let's do the preview. See,
Nope, that's
but
a main set.
the number is main set. Interesting.
I think that's because when they first revealed he was in the set, the way they figured out was because he was listed in the CTD solicit.
Cyclops, Dazzler. Now that's the Cyclops that comes on the team base, and then we'll get the Phoenix 5 version too.
Yep.
Dazzler, Death's Head, sweet. Oh wait,
What?
wait. Possibly in the set was the winner of the Marvel fan vote and is set to appear in a summer 2013 Marvel release. So we gotta imagine that it
Yeah,
should
it's
be.
probably.
Death's Head, I had actually never ever read him in anything, and now he's in Iron Man. And even though that book sucks, Death's Head
Death's
is
Head's awesome.
so awesome. I'm really happy that he won the community fan vote. I didn't vote for him because, like I said, I didn't used to know who he even was. Deathbird, which is so I guess she is going to be in it. The Shi'ar I was talking about, the bodyguard for a kid, Gladiator. Let's see this.
Yeah.
Deathstrike, Deathlock, Emma
So
Frost.
much death.
Now that's Emma Frost. That's Phoenix 5 Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Exodus.
Let me see that sculpt real quick.
Which one?
Exodus. I want to see this. Yeah.
Oh, it's really
that's
blurry.
awesome.
Phantom X, Flatman, Gambit, the team base, Gladiator, Havoc, Hope Summers, sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hussar, Iceman, Jean Grey, 2 Jubilees, the Vampire Prime version and the regular version, which I'm pretty happy they did.
Mhm.
Lady Deathstrike. Now wait a minute. Does that mean
There's.
is she gonna be a Prime? Did they say for sure?
Yeah, it's pretty much confirmed. Like everyone,
Oh no, but she comes on. Oh wait, I don't know if she comes with the team base.
she goes on the team.
She probably just goes on the team base. Let's
They'll
see.
probably include like
She's number 47A, so she'd have to be the super rare Prime, the super rare and the super rare Prime.
yeah, that's probably what it is.
Lady Deathstrike, we know that we get a CTD and a main set of that. Legion, Lockheed, Longshot, we were really happy with. He's an awesome figure.
He's so good.
M, Madrox, the Team Base Magic and the Phoenix 5 Magic, Magma, Magneto, Age of X Magneto, which is a Prime,
All of them.
Manta, Megan, Mirage, Namor, the Phoenix 5 Namor, Nightcrawler, Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler.
Really?
Here's a picture.
Oh yeah, he was the one on that picture.
Oh, he is sick.
That is.
I wonder if that's
so
a Prime.
sick, nasty.
He would have to be a Prime.
Because it's the same sculpt as the
Yep.
Excalibur.
Well, click on. Oh, they just got the.
Yeah,
skull.
it's the same. That's the one from the team base.
Oh,
yeah, it's the same sculpt, but it's different uniform.
Oracle, Polaris. A lot of people were wanting a Polaris. Professor X and Magneto. Is that a?
It's a duo.
Duo? I haven't seen
That
anything
is
for that.
sick.
Yeah, it's them back
Huh.
to back.
Yes.
Wait, is that a Silver Samurai?
Wait, what?
Hold on. Go back.
That's wrong one.
Wrong one. Where's it at? Is that Silver Samurai?
That is
Silver
Oh.
Star.
done.
It looks like he has the Hydra TA.
Yeah.
Oh my.
He's 100 points. Drew's pretty happy
That
right
sculpt's
now.
pretty sick too.
I'm pretty happy.
Drew's hiding his boner right now.
It's there.
Just keep it hidden.
Scooting away once again.
Psylocke, Quicksilver, Rachel Summers, Rogue, Sauron, Shadowcat, a Shi'ar generic, a sculpt shown on the CT box, so I guess it is a
Silver Samurai.
Silver Samurai, sculpt here, no range, Hydra TA, 100 points, probably gonna be same picture.
Yep.
Smasher, Spiral. Spiral's a cool character.
Yep. Oh, Spiral, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have included her.
She's also on NBC too.
Yeah.
Starbolt, Storm, Strong Guy. I can't believe they put Strong Guy.
They put Strong Guy? Strong Guy's in?
And Flatman too. Isn't
I was
that
going to
crazy?
put Strong Guy on my list, but I was
Click the
like,
Strong
they're
Guy
never
outside
going to
the
click
box.
Strong Guy.
It's crazy that they put... There's no picture. It's crazy that they put him and Flatman in this set.
I know.
It's crazy. Sunspot, Toad, Warlock, Warstar.
Warstar's a big robot, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so he is the... And there's Colossus too. He looks pretty bad.
Dude, did you see that team base? Because it's pretty
Yeah,
legit.
that's the gold team base. It's freaking sweet.
Wolfsbane, Wolverine, and X-Man. To do. And then, again, if you never heard what the team bases are going to be, Brotherhood of Mutants. Confirmed members include Magneto, Quicksilver, and Toad.
Oh, there's Quicksilver.
I gotta imagine there's gonna be a Scarlet Witch too. Yeah, it said Quicksilver. I gotta imagine one of those missing figures is gonna be a Scarlet Witch. You would think.
Yeah.
For the Brotherhood set, for the Brotherhood team base, Excalibur. Confirmed members: Captain Britain, Nightcrawler, Shadowcat, Rachel Grey, Megan, and Lockheed. Hellfire Club. Confirmed members so far are just Black Queen and Black King. New Mutants, we already got the full spoil for that, which we went over a couple weeks ago. Sunspot, Cannonball, Mirage, Magma, Warlock, Wolfsbane, and Magic. Shi'ar Imperial Guard. 7 members: Gladiator, Hussar, Smasher, Warstar, Oracle, Manta, and Starbolt. X-Men Blue Team, that's the one that gave us the official spoil on. Gambit, Beast, Wolverine, Rogue, Jubilee, Psylocke, and Cyclops. And then Gold Strike Force. That one we haven't seen spoiled yet, but we have seen a sculpt with Colossus on it. Jean Grey, Bishop, there you go. Archangel, Colossus,
Yay.
Iceman, and Storm. Sub-themes are going to be the Blue and Gold X-Men Strike teams, Brotherhood of Mutants, Excalibur, Hellfire Club, and Shi'ar Imperial Guard.
If they don't do a blob, I'll be baffled.
So here's confirmed CTD figures. Colossus, Cyber, Havoc, Jean Grey, Deathstrike, Madrox, Shadowcat, Shi'ar, Toad, and Wolverine. Now,
That's all 10, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wonder if they're going to do a gravity feed like generic Madrox that he can change into,
That's
and then
what
a
I'm
main
thinking.
set Madrox.
Well, because think about it, it was the same thing with Teen Titans. There's always 2 generics in the gravity feeds these
Yeah.
days.
It seems to be that way.
So we're going to get a Madrox generic to go with the multiple man, and we're going to get 2 different versions of it, which will be pretty
So
sweet.
whenever this set is about a week from coming out, we'll come back to this list, and I'll go. By that point, we will know like pretty much what's going to be commons, uncommons, whatever, and we'll kind of talk about. We'll look at the commons and uncommons and rares, and we'll talk about great sealed pieces that we're looking forward to trying out. Right now, there's only about half of that list filled out. So, guys, I'm going to link this as well. This full list, because each of those figures that I just read to you that are confirmed for the set, they have links for pictures for the majority of those too. So if you guys wanted to see the pictures that people have taken at cons and stuff, you'll be able to see those too. Again, I'm going to put all of these on the Podbean site, and I'll try to link them in HC Realms as well, and on Reddit if I can fit all that, if it'll let me. So that's enough for news. I think everybody that we talk to really, really is looking forward to this set.
Yeah,
I think it's a given. It's
This
an
is
X-Men set.
pretty much going to be the biggest selling set that they put out in a
pretty
long time.
Hard pressed to find someone who doesn't love X-Men.
You know, aside from Chaos War, really this is the most wanted set, and I think the set people are most excited for in the last couple of years. Really.
Spider-Man was big, but
Spider-Man
this is
people
bigger.
wanted.
But Spider-Man's half other themes, I think. I don't know whether that helped it or hindered it, because it wasn't really...
I think it helped because
It
there were a
helped
lot
it.
of good pieces.
Legion of Monsters was great.
But I felt like at
the
the same
monsters,
time,
period. The
it
generic.
was a half and half split. Like,
Yeah.
I like mystical. I like the mystical side of Spider-Man. I would have liked to see like a few other pieces.
You
in
know
there
what,
that were more Spidey.
Spidey can't fill out a full set by itself though. Like
With
they
Spider-Man?
put, huh?
Web of Spider-Man.
Still, I mean, they put almost all the main Spider-Man people in that set,
True.
and it still was like you just said, only half of it. Like, X-Men can carry 5 sets by themselves. I mean, there's so many characters. I can sit here and name off characters that you guys never heard of, and you can sit and name characters that I've never heard of. Like, it's just... It's its own universe, pretty much. It might as well be Marvel, DC, and X-Men, you know? Anyways, expect
Fox
us...
had their way, that's what it would be.
expect this set to sell extremely well. Our Just the Tip this week, I want to talk a little bit about the Book of the Skull and how to get the most out of it. My main tip is play as many hammers as you can. Drop them as early as you can. Remember, you have to be 5 or more squares away from a starting area to do so. And if you do it at the beginning of your turn, you get to do it for free, do it as a free action. Drop a hammer, and then you give a power action to pick who you want to put the. Gosh, I'm tongue-tied here. Who you want to pick up the hammer. You can also do that afterwards. You give one person a power action to drop a hammer on somebody's square, and then if you give them the power action that turn to pick it up, they will automatically succeed. So, what I was doing at Fear Itself this past week was I would take... Maybe, let's say, in this instance, it was my Jinx. I would keep my Jinx in my starting area at the beginning of the game. I had Monkey King carry Tyr off by theirself and Arrowette move off by theirself. And then next turn, I would drop a hammer to somebody. And then I would give Jinx a power action to drop the second hammer on Tyr. And they both get to pick them up. And then next turn, I have Jinx do another power action to drop a hammer on Monkey King, and he gets... So basically you can put them on real quick because the person who gives the power action to make the hammer drop doesn't have to be in your starting area.
Yeah.
It's only the people who are getting the hammers dropped on them that have to be so far away from your starting area. So one tip is drop them as soon as you can, because when you have hammers on everybody and every time they hit they spin this Book of the Skull, like I said, I almost went through it twice in a 300-point game.
Yeah,
I almost went through it twice.
When I first saw the design for it, I thought the fact you could overshoot it was kind of lame. Then I realized in 2 games I've played in now, my opponent overshot it and still almost got it back around to it. Especially when
it would be too good if you...
when they start breaking out down to like 8 hammers and you're loading up your team, the amount of times you'll probably overshoot, that's ridiculous.
The book turns as soon as you do the damage. We found that.
Okay, so if you flurry, you hit turn, take the new modifiers?
No, now that we'll discuss. It's as soon as actions resolve. Because the question came up, and Ricky was judging, but he's never judged before, so he was coming to me for some questions, and this was a tough one. I didn't really know off the top of my head. Question was, if a character has a hammer and they quake and they hit 3 people, will they spin 3 times? Now, Infinity Gauntlet with Steel Energy Gem,
it says when they deal damage.
You quake, they heal 3 times. They heal for each person. The key word in this situation is Steel Energy says each. This says win.
Yeah, it just says win.
So they're only going to spin 1 time for that quake, no matter how many people they hit.
Right.
Same would go for Flurry. Doesn't matter how many different people you're hitting, or the fact that you're hitting them twice. It's after actions resolve.
It's Boolean. It's true or false. Did you deal damage this action?
Right, exactly. And that happens as soon as the damage hits. Well, what I found myself doing, I didn't think of it the second game until the end, and in the third game, I tried to make the most out of it. Let's say I have Tyr and I have Arrowette, both with hammers, right? Mm-hmm. And my little Book of Skull, right now it's only giving me +1s on movement. And really neither one of... They're both in melee. They're both going to hit. They don't need the movement. Mm-hmm. But what I was doing is, who needs the... What's the next thing that it spins onto? It goes from movement to attack. Who needs the attack more? Arrowette needs the attack more because she has a lower attack. So I used Tyr to hit. I assigned it to Arrowette. I hit with Tyr and spun it onto attack, and then Arrowette got the +1 attack. So that's something to think about. Learn what you're going to get on the book upcoming and try to think of
I think it's
ahead of yourself.
Movement to defense to attack to damage, isn't it?
Right, but if you're on one of the last ones of movements and you roll like a 5 or 6, you'll go past defense real quick. Defense is pretty short. So look at your gauntlet, and same thing with powers. It starts off on smoke cloud, but then it goes to blades. If you think one of your characters who has a hammer is going to need a blades towards the end of the turn, assign it to them, hit with somebody else who has a hammer, spin it onto blades, and now you got flurry blades or whatever you need on the other person.
Crazy with month 5. The fact that we're going to have 5 hammers on there means 4 hammers are out. You can now equip a second hammer, right? You're going to drop it to someone who's going to be able to quake with a +2 attack and anything else.
And's going to have running shot and charge and exploit.
Anger's hammer.
And steel
Anger's
energy.
hammer gives steel energy, so you'll be able to quake.
Or flurry. Well, one doesn't give flurry, I don't think. But anyways. So that's another tip that you can do to get the absolute most out of your Book of Skulls. Moving on to community. So, number one, I want to start off with our reception of our podcast. I feel like we're doing pretty good. I mean, we've only had 2 episodes so far.
Yeah.
And we've already, on Podbean, we've gotten like 200 or 300 downloads on each one. Yeah. That's just off Podbean.
And that's pretty good.
That's not iTunes. I can't tell how many iTunes has. I gotta imagine iTunes is higher than Podbean. I think most people use iTunes for podcasts. So, or at least the same.
You didn't use from SoundCloud?
For a Heroclix, no, I haven't got accepted into SoundCloud yet. But at this point, I kind of like Podbean anyways. It lets you do a few more extra things that, even though it costs me, a few bucks a month. I think the reception's pretty good. I'm starting to get a lot of feedback through PMs on Realms and posts on Realms. People talking to us. We love that, guys. We love hearing from you guys. We love getting team builds. We love hearing what you thought of our opinions, even if you don't agree with this. Actually, especially when you don't agree with this, because I like seeing other people's sides of things. Yeah, exactly. And we will always talk back with you on the forums or even here on the podcast.
There was that one guy who expressed a solidarity about your Trigon fiasco that made me kind of laugh.
Yeah, people feel my pain. I don't want to be all woe is me, but it's kind of a funny...
It was freaking hilarious.
It's kind of a funny thing that's starting to happen with me now, where people are starting to realize that I'm not full of crap when I say I have the worst luck in the world. Like with pulls and with dice rolls.
I don't know, today you only rolled 4 misses out of your 6 attacks with Justice League, and you needed
with two 6? With 2 perplexes on it.
You needed like a 6 and you rolled 4 like 4 times.
And Austin is kind of the polar opposite. Austin walked into Comic Book University one time. There was 40 odd Teen Titans boosters up on the rack, and he said, I'm going to buy 1 Teen Titans booster. And there was a Superman Prime in that thing. That's just the example that pops in my head.
Are you kidding? Do you know how many times I've walked into the dugout and bought like a random booster and it's like, oh hey, look at Chase, this is nice.
It's just ridiculous.
I wish I was around during Chaos War.
But anyways,
what are you gonna do with 3 Avengers Primes?
Play them all.
Our cursing has slowed way down. I think, as I was telling you guys, I think the first one had a lot of cursing, namely because we curse all the time and we're not used to having to control ourselves, but also because of the Gen Con rant. Like, I was upset, we all were a little upset and cursing more than we typically do. Angry. And as you noticed on episode 2 and episode 3 and so forth, you'll get a little cussing. It's just us being, we're just sitting here chilling, shooting the shit, talking to each other. There's your cuss word.
I think this one, ass became a typical word thanks to the fact we talked about kick-ass for a while.
That doesn't count. Kick-ass doesn't
count.
No,
I mean, we dropped it 50,000 times over the course of this. It's funny to me.
Real quick, I want to get into dial design, guys. I only got 2 submissions on the dial design contest. Now, one thing I do regret is making it only be 1 character you can choose from. So from now on, we'll give you a few to choose, but we only got 2 submissions so far for your week 1 assignment, which was making me a figure for Miles Morales from Ultimate Spider-Man. I want to thank the 2 people who gave me submissions. One of them is Swagnito, who's one of the main guys on Heroclix. And we also got one from We Are Venom. Both of them are very good, and I'm happy with them. I'm not going to discuss and rate them quite yet. Since we only got 2 submissions, I'm going to extend round 1, the Miles Morales, an extra week. And then after this week, whatever I've got, that's all we get. Now, no, you're still going to get to give assignment number 2 this week.
I got to wait a week to do it. Oh, this week?
No, you're still going to give your assignment this week. So what I'm saying is, if we get any new listeners or anybody who decides to do the dial design contest after this, guys, it's completely free, 110% free. It's a blast. I love making dial. I mean,
I've entered a ton of contests.
It is addictive.
Your first contest is like, it's pretty like overwhelming kind of, but you get addicted to them easy. Like I've entered like 5-6 contests.
And guys, when you look at this dial designer, which I'm going to link in the description for this episode, and it is also linked on the my dial design contest page. It's linked in both places. When you first look at it, it's going to look a little overwhelming. But just try it and fool with it a little bit, and you will fall in love with it.
You type in numbers and you pick colors.
It's just awesome. But yeah, please get involved in this. Completely free, and you're going to get 6 custom Heroclix poker chips with the logo, a comics logo of your choice on them.
Heck, if I was allowed to enter it for those tokens, I'd do it.
Like I said, I'm happy with the 2 submissions we got so far, and I want to thank you guys for submitting them. I'm going to extend it 1 week, and then by this time next week, whatever I've gotten, that's it. Now, Austin, you can go ahead and give our assignment for week 2 for the dial design contest if you want to.
Okay. So the two characters I want to see figures for. The first one is given as an Iron Man fan. I want to see a rescue. There's going to be one in the upcoming, and there's going to be a rescue in the upcoming Invincible Iron Man. But I'd like to see some people's takes on her. It's a pacifist figure. She's a pacifist character, of course. She has no weapon systems. So I want to see how you guys handle that and the abilities she would use. And the other character, since we're given 2 characters now, right? In my top 10 list, I want to see a bishop. I want to see really cool energy redirection powers and how he would use them. So either of those figures or either of those characters.
So assignment 2, either make a rescue figure, which is Pepper Potts with the suit from Iron Man, or make Bishop from Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
That gives you 2 options if you know more about one of them than the other one, or you just have a cooler idea for one of them than the other one. Go ahead and submit those, and I will be posting and updating our Dial Design Month 1 contest thread. You will have only 1 week on that, so by today is July 27th when we're recording this. By the time we record the next episode on July the 3rd, all submissions for week 1 and 2 will be over. No new submissions after that. So get them in, guys. It doesn't take that long to do, and like we said, it may look intimidating at first. Once you do it a few times, you will fall in love, and you won't be able to stop. You'll be making dials for every character you can think of.
But the other fun thing, though, is it teaches you a bit about strategy. Like, you look at these figures and you look at powers in new ways.
Right.
And it's a good way to expand, like, your horizons with figures, so to speak.
So if anybody is new to this and wanted more information on how they'll be scored and all the details can be found on our thread, Dial H or Heroclix Dial Design Contest. I will be linking that in the Podbean site and on Realms and Reddit, everywhere. I'll be linking it. That's enough for Dial Design. Kenzilla, who sent us a team build last week, and we gave him one back, gave us some feedback. He's got a new build assignment for us. It was 400 points, Silver Age. All characters have to fly or phase because the battle is in space, and it's played on Star Trek maps. The catch for this is not only do you have to fly or phase, you cannot ignore knockback. Did you build a team?
I didn't actually get around to building a team for this one, but I have some figures in mind. There's a few really good Iron Man figures that have Force Blast. I would abuse the living crap out of in that. Just knocking people around into asteroids and all that fun stuff.
Well, I went with... I kept the space theme going. And since this was Golden Age, I played Green Lantern. And I went with the Teen Titans 110 version of Hal. The one that gets to pick his own powers.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Raimi Hall, who was from the Green Lantern Gravity feed, she is a pretty decent stealth ranged attacker, but she also gets support, and she's like the only Green Lantern core piece that has support.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
There may be one or two that of howls that get it on one click or the other, but for the most part, she's the main medic.
Gotcha.
And she's pretty cheap too. She's only 50 points for Green Lantern Corps. That's pretty cheap. And then one of my top 5 favorite figures of all time, Sinestro, the 100 point one that starts with an 11 charge, 10 attack, 19 defense, willpower with exploit. And even if you want to range with him, he has 9 range. He has 8 clicks, and he gets Psychic Blast a lot towards the end. He's just a great all-around piece. When after he loses willpower, when he pushes, he heals back afterwards. So basically, he has willpower, kind of willpower light.
Sinestro's a monster.
And then Tomar Ray 007. This is the 110 points. You may have never even seen this fig.
Is that the one with TK?
No, that's the other Tomar. This guy is different. He has a really old-looking sculpt, and he has 12 range.
What?
Which is unheard of these days. 12 range with running shot and perplex.
Oh, with running shot.
What's his movement?
10.
No.
So
he's got a 17, 18 with perplex, an 18 swing.
Oh my lord! How many points is he?
111.
No.
So
no.
He also gets energy explosion after that with enhancement for most of his dial.
That's an evil dial.
You just keep that guy max range, and think of this: you're hitting him and knocking him back even further. That's the main thing about my team. Yeah. So I gave Tomar the Infinity Gauntlet with time, reality, and power.
Well, of course you did.
And so,
it appears I've made a team of questionable morality. Maybe I should slap Gauntlet to him.
I know what I'm doing next Silver Age event.
So I would keep him far away and popping people and knocking them back even farther, keeping them away from my team, and so that I can stay mostly ranged. And I put a JL Silver Age ATA on the Green Lantern, who is a great piece, I think, the 110 point version.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
On the rules he gave us for the build, would Force Blast double up with the normal knockback?
Well, it's not that attacks... Let me reread his thing, but I don't think it's that all attacks deal knock... Okay, yeah, all attacks cause knockback that can't be ignored. So really, Force Blast isn't helping you.
Aww,
you know what I mean?
I was hoping it would double the knockback, and then I could just sit back with Iron Man figures and be like, penetrating, Psychic Blast, Force Blast, boom, boom, boom.
He also he talked about he had just played an X-Men team that featured the main set Cloak and Dagger, and he wanted us to talk about them. Like Austin said on the thread...
Oh man, those figures gave me so much
I
trouble.
used that Cloak and Dagger duo, and after I played them, I was like, I am playing these guys again.
It was against one of my power teams.
It was against a Thunderbolts team that was very good.
Yeah, you gave me a run for my money with those simple figures.
Hawkeye, Man-Thing, Iron Patriot, and
Taskmaster.
And basically, they're not primary attackers. If you guys want to look at them on the unit section of HC Realms, they work just amazingly well together because Cloak, of course, Cloak provides the support.
And
Dagger, and he has Smoke Cloud.
Yeah.
Wow.
And new Smoke Cloud is ridiculous.
And Dagger gets to heal him an extra 1
after she attacks.
she can either do the Dagger thing, or when she uses support, she also heals Cloak.
After actions was also
right.
1 then 1, yeah.
Yeah. So and Cloak has phasing. So basically, I move them in as kind of support with the Smoke Cloud and the Dagger, popping little short range attacks, and let my big guys do the heavy work. But towards the end of the game, when it was just Cloak, Dagger, and one other guy against Austin's full dial Taskmaster, they whittled him down because when he would hit me for a few, I would phase carry away, heal up, and get right back into the fight.
Doesn't that Dagger get penetrating damage?
Yeah, if she only deals 1 damage, I think.
Because that was obnoxious. I just remember it went on forever, which wasn't really the problem. The thing was, I thought I had that game in the bag. I was like, man, it's down to this. There's no way he's going to come back from this. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. As you said, you phasing away, you'd support. I couldn't get over to you without overactioning and overreaching and screwing myself in the process.
He and Dagger both get stealth if they're adjacent. Cloak can carry. He has phasing, willpower, smoke bomb, or smoke cloud. That's his first 3 clicks. His last 3 clicks, he gets poison and perplex.
I think that was the game I chose Hydra instead of... we played the crater map, I remember that.
Yep.
I chose Hydra because I had them all lined up and I was looking down. And so you put Smoke Cloud out or whatever, and you would just sit behind it, or you'd sit in it, and there was nothing I could do to handle it.
So the reason they work so well together, Dagger has 6 range, 2 bolts. When she hits a single target with a ranged combat attack, instead of dealing normal damage, she may choose to deal 1 penetrating and heal herself or an adjacent friendly character of 1 damage. They're just
so
healing like
obnoxious.
crazy. And whenever...
I wish I had Thanos.
Then when she gets knocked down on her damage power, she gets support. After actions resolve, heal an adjacent friendly character. So the good thing is that even if she misses, she still did it.
Yeah,
Actions
she
resolve, and she auto heals them.
Yeah, I remember.
I kept missing, and I still got to heal him.
God, those
That
things.
is
Or
ridiculous.
I can heal up my somebody else.
How
and
many
then
points is
heal.
that combo? Like 90?
It's 100, right on the dot.
Perfect 100?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they're sick. I don't know. I mean, they only have Oh, let's see. Somebody gave Dagger a 5-star. Cloak only has 3. Guys, these guys together are really dumb, especially with Smoke Cloud.
Yeah, it's like one of those you're looking at them, you're like, man, these aren't that great. And
Smoke
then
Cloud
when you actually play,
with the stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that
It's
was
just
obnoxious.
crazy, man. So, yeah, Kenzilla, you're right. They are a sick combo,
I hate
and
them.
I'm definitely going to play them again.
If I ever pull another one, I'm stomping it in the parking lot.
No, you're not.
They're common.
I have like
I don't
4 of
care,
them in that
dude.
You
bag.
can.
Sure.
I'll give you one. and you can
I'll
call
stomp it,
back.
we'll video it, we'll put it on YouTube.
And you'll be hurting your foot. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Spidey Swing asks us, what are our 4 or 3 favorite figures ever made?
Ever made?
You know what I'm going to say? That Iron Man, Iron Patriot today. That's my number 1.
I can see that.
Well, you played a team with 2 of them.
I played a team with 4 of them once.
Austin played that Iron Man, Iron Patriot team with a bunch of Killians and Tony Starks, and he took down my Colossal Thanos. I had Thanos, Uatu, Taraxia, and Mephisto. I was going for like a comic book accurate event.
Tell him about that smart tactical move with Uatu.
So I didn't realize that not only do those MFs get sharpshooter, but they can sharpshoot even when they're based. So I based him with Taraxia to stop him from blasting Thanos every turn, and then I blocked the line of fire with Uatu so
But
that
I
Thanos
didn't
could
care.
so that Thanos could clear. And so not only do the Iron Man duos care that they don't care that they're tied up, they can still shoot, and they have sharpshooter, so they shot right through Uatu and still popped Thanos. And I was like, these guys just don't obey the laws of the game. He wrecked that Thanos. I didn't get close to beating you.
But
I killed like 2 50-point Tonys. That was it.
Gosh, and it's so hard for me to pick 3 figures, but like for second, if I'm looking at support pieces, that Iron Man 3 set just had a lot of really good support for ranged teams.
Who would have guessed he picked that?
The 2 Killians and that Tony Stark. Both Killians have really great capabilities. One of them denies all ATAs and 8 squares. Amazing ability for like heroes for hire teams. You can lock down stuff like that. I run one with my villains for hire team actually. The other Killian gives an adjacent character sharpshooter and lets them ignore stealth, and he has Hydra. So you set him next to a figure that normally is just a downrange, 12 range blaster. Put him next to him. He's Hydraing them to keep them down, or to keep their defense down. And that big figure is just unloading. And then that Stark's a 50 point. I ran 4 of them today. 50 points, enhancement, outwit, Avengers Initiative. If you have a wild card, you can jack Avengers Initiative and ignore stealth. Great figure. Third favorite figure is kind of hard to pick. I don't know. Drew, go ahead and give yours real quick while I think about this one.
Okay, my first one I haven't actually played yet, but it's the Clown Prince of Crime. He's just so good.
I hate that figure
He's
so much.
so cute.
He's the cutest. Just the
Freaking
cutest.
Scott and his Clown Prince and his...
When I first started playing Heroclix, a funny thing that I think even the people we play Clicks with now don't know is we may know a lot about Clicks, but we've only been playing Clicks at actual venues for a very short period
It's
of
been
time.
half a year tops.
Because we played at my house, in my garage, and in my living room for months and months before we ever actually went to a venue. Me and Ricky started going to tournaments at CBU, and then I finally talked Austin into going into a few, and then we finally talked Drew into going to a few, and then we finally talked Josh and Aaron into going to a few, and then it just exploded.
Yeah.
And It's just funny because these guys think that we've been playing forever, and really they don't know that we just started playing at venues for just just a few months.
I mean, we've been playing for. You've been playing the longest.
I started,
but not by much.
Yeah.
I basically started playing like the day you opened your D10 and M10 bricks because I helped you open those. Remember that?
That was right when we first. Yeah.
That was because I didn't start. I looked at stuff, but I didn't really start playing around Chaos War. It was much later before we really got.
I couldn't get you guys out of Magic.
I don't know.
At first.
What are you talking about?
But
You don't say those words on this podcast. But yeah.
Oh, I know where I was like, where did we get off on that tangent? When we first started playing, I've played against, like, my second week, Scott was using the Clown Prince, and I was playing against him, and I killed him, and he just comes back. And I kill him again, and he just comes back. And I was talking to John, who was the judge, and I was like, does this figure not die? And he's like, no, it just keeps coming back. It can't die. And I was like, why is he allowed to use this? It can't, like, I didn't understand. He's like, no, you'll get points for it each time that it dies, but it can't actually die. And my young brain was like,
I think it has 3 lives, doesn't it?
4.
It has like 4 lives, I think. You can't kill the freaking thing 4 times before time runs out.
Especially with a Solomon Grundy.
Especially because it has Mastermind with Solomon Grundy or whatever you want to throw with
My
it.
sweet Alchemist.
Sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
Okay, let me think here. My second favorite is Giant Size X-Men Sabretooth.
I remember a certain zombie army versus a Sabretooth that made for a great
I'm sorry,
match.
that was just the greatest game of Heroclix I've ever played.
So,
Like,
Andrew, I'm going to go
I think we've told this story before, but it was literally Sabretooth against about 20 zombies. And Sabretooth, he couldn't damage me. He couldn't.
Bullcrap.
And he got in one time, and I hit the imperv roll.
Doesn't he have Super Sense's
Or the Super Sense.
reflexes, I think?
Yeah.
He has
Super
Super
Sense
Sense's reflexes with a
Toughness.
17 defense.
Yeah, something like that. He's nuts.
He's really good. And I'm just mowing down zombies like crazy. Like, I lost all my other characters.
I killed that stupid lion bystander token just to get another zombie.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so solid. He's...
Number 3?
Number 3, I'm gonna pick... Let's see. I'm a really big Silver Age fan, but I'll pick a modern. Superman. Cal. Probably Cal.
The Chase?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
I haven't got to play him yet.
The night one or the...
The one...
The Chase with the silver suit, the
Yeah.
armory.
He's got a
Oh,
silver...
I love that figure.
He's so fun. I mean, I played him for the Meteor Shower event we did, and he's such a great piece.
He was definitely the best piece on your team on that game.
Yeah, you can't Alpha Strike him because he'll just negate the damage, and he's brilliant.
I messed up my list. I didn't put zombie number 1.
Yeah,
I play so many zombies so often.
Zuvimbi, there's his.
Yeah.
That fills out his top 3. So I made my top 3, and then I laughed when I looked back at it because it perfectly represents my comic favorites as well, and I didn't even realize it when I was picking these out.
Justice League Team Base, Justice League Team Base, Justice League Team Base.
So my favorite ones are JL Team Base, Metron, and Nightcrawler.
Balance.
Totally, because I'm not a power player.
No, my number 1 piece is definitely Beast Boy and all his iterations, but particularly the original 70th anniversary Outsiders Beast Boy. I've played him more than I've played. I'm a big proponent of always trying out new figures. Like, I have a gigantic list that'll never get completed of all these figures I want to play once, but I've played Beast Boy 20 times at least, and I will continue to keep playing him just because I love him and I love his mechanics.
Hunter, I seem to recall mind controlling a certain Beast Boy, making him smack someone and run back to your starting area and turning him into a dolphin.
Anyways, I love Beast Boy. Second one, definitely Mole Man. I have I bought 8 Mole Men when that set came out because I played them all. Particularly Mole Man with Giganto, even though Giganto is not all that great, just for sheer comic accuracy and just the lulz, just
I kind of
the
beg to differ.
nostalgia.
Giganto, although he is kind of like a short dial at times, like compared to what he should for his points. If you get one really good slam in there and you use that hindering to its full effect, it can be scary.
I will say that I once used him as CBU with the Gauntlet, and I destroyed because that Steel Energy with his pop-up Quake,
Yeah.
and he heals 1 for each one, so they couldn't kill him. They would knock him down, and then I would Quake, hit 4 people, and heal 4 times from Steel Energy. He was a bonkers that time. And then my third one is AA035 or 034 Robin, which is the red suit. He's standing up on a top of a chimney, and he has smoke cloud. He's basically Mr. Freeze before Mr. Freeze ever got put out, because he smoke clouds, and then he can incap for free one of the people who are in the smoke cloud, and he has perplex, and he's only 66 points, and he has like an 18 defense from melee. So basically, he's just the perfect support piece. He's just a great all-around piece. He still holds up, even though he's a really old figure. He still holds up to this day. And then I was looking at those, and I was like, Teen Titans, Fantastic Four, and Batman. Like, those are like my three. If I had to absolutely pick my three favorite comics, those are my three favorite comics. And it's just funny that those pieces turned out to be from my favorite comic. And really, I didn't even pick them because of who they are. I just picked them because of how they play, especially Beast Boy. I love the morph mechanic and him having so many options.
I went over that with a big post once on HC Realms. Morph is my favorite mechanic WizKids does, and I hope they do a lot more with it in the future. There's just some fun stuff. That Spider-Man set played it too.
The Prime Gordanian I've been finding is very good with him. Just the fact that after you morph, he gives the permanent +1s. Yeah. It's just so good.
I'm a T-Rex with +1 to my combat values.
That T-Rex is so neat.
There's been several games where my whole goal has just been win or lose. I want to change into every single Beast Boy by the end of it before he gets killed, and I've only done it once because everybody goes for him after they realize what I'm doing, just to spoil my fun. I'm not even like hurting anybody.
The T-Rex has an ability called Tiny Little Arms. I don't need to express how awesome that is.
Anyways, that's enough for our top threes. Danzig01 on Realms sent us an email and sent me a PM, and I wanted to read his email because I feel he perfectly summarizes this show. He says, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for the podcast. I like the feel of it. It's like sitting down and shooting the shit about Heroclix with friends. If only Drew would pass me a beer and a slice of pizza, it would be perfect.
I love you, dude.
He gets the vibe. That's the vibe that we're going for. You know, you may not like the cursing here or there, and you may not like that the podcast runs long, and you may not like the comic section, or you may not like the comic movie discussion or the video game discussion, but this is just us winding down at the end of our week of clicks and just shooting the shit.
It's nice to vent it all too,
and we just want you guys to join in. But we also want to do that. But we also want to promote and grow the community, locally and online. You know, there's not a lot of Clicks podcasts, especially weekly ones. Yeah. We're pretty much the only weekly one. He says, now on to what I'd like to see as a feature on Dial H for Heroclix. How about a segment where you take a submitted 300 point or any point range, I guess, and discuss ways to improve the team for whatever the stated purpose is. Not a bad idea. So if you guys want to send me PMs of you want advice, he's basically wanting team building advice. And team building is one that is a main topic that will be discussed on a future podcast pretty soon, where I'll go over team building strategies, and we'll kind of discuss how we go about it.
I was going to say,
because that can be a very long discussion.
And it's a very personal thing.
Exactly. So that's going to be our main topic very soon. His example is he's trying to build a 300-point meta-worthy animal team. Now, this is possible. George Masu at, what was the con? The biggest one before Jim. At Origins got like third, I think, with an animal team. And the team that Danzig here built, he gives me two examples, and he wants to know which one I think is better. Now, honestly, I like both of them, but I like Danzig. I like the first one that you sent me slightly better. It's Man-Thing and Howard the Duck, Alyosha Craven. He says, who needs Heroes for Hire ATA to take an extra turn? That's a good point.
Seriously.
Alyosha is the backbone of any good animal team.
He's
Let's
amazing.
just go ahead and say that.
Remember that animal team I played? That was the team I played against Austin.
With the Sabertooth, and that was obnoxious.
And then Cosmo. Now, these are all modern. It has to be modern.
Yeah.
Definitely. And
then he has Book of Skull with the 3 hammers that came out so far. He wants Kurth on Alyosha, Mach on Cosmo to give him running shot for Incap and for mind control. Now, don't forget about that, Danzig. Now you can running shot mind control with Cosmo as well.
That's so nasty.
Scotty's hammer on Man-Thing Howard to give them exploit.
I'm going to stop and explain. I finally looked at that Man-Thing Howard in depth. I pulled it the other day. I already had
giving them movement attack from a hammer is great.
They have so many good abilities, and they stop so many things in its tracks. They're a figure that you can really abuse in the current meta if played right, and giving them that hammer is an awesome idea.
You know what? Man-Thing and Howard did the top 3. Yeah, You're definitely.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely.
I like your idea of giving Man-Thing and Howard the Duck the charge charge and +2 from the hammer, and then sending them out, whooping up on people, taking a few hits, making them take your mystics, and then TKing them back with the Cosmo and to regen, because Man-Thing Howard the Duck gets a lot of regen at the end. I like that idea a lot. I like your first team better. The second, he also has Scotty's Warbot, damaged Warbot to stand guard over Cosmo. Not a bad idea. Now, your second team is the same except no Warbot, and he has the Animal ATA, and he has one hammer missing. Personally, I don't like the Animal ATA that much, particularly because it has a 5 to. You roll a 5 to 6 or a D6 at the beginning of the turn. If you roll a 5 or 6, you ignore shape change and stealth. Here's my beef with that.
Not much stealth you're going to run into with an animal team.
Right.
Like, as an
you
animal
don't
team.
care about stealth that much with animals because how many actually have range? Cosmo does, and Alyosha does. Now, you pick two of the ones that actually do go against my point I'm trying to make, so kudos on that. But typically, animals don't have range at all.
And then even then, it's a 33% chance.
Right.
You're only going to get that ATA statistically 1 out of every 3 turns.
I mean, it's situational is my point. I think you're better off getting the extra hammer, because those hammers...
that's what I was going to say.
Getting 3 and getting the powers from the belt and getting a better chance of spinning it faster from the damage dealt with it, I just think is a better overall decision.
Okay, I have a rules question here. If you split Man-Thing and Howard the Duck, and there's not one in Modern you could split it into, I don't think Howard the Duck is.
No, because Howard's too old.
Yeah. If you split them, drop them both a hammer and merge them, would they have 2 hammers?
If you split them, drop them both
hammers, and then they both have them, and
I
then
would
remerge
say
them,
no.
would they have
Let's
both
see the card.
Because it's just something I thought about, because I was like...
Well, I remember seeing something on the Book of the Skull card that says they cannot be two. Okay. At the beginning of each of your turns, you may remove a hammer, you drop it, blah, 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 blah. Hammer's command is from the character's command. Unless specified otherwise, a character may only be equipped with 1 hammer.
Okay.
Now, the Man-Thing, Howard Duck have nothing on either of their powers that say they can have more than 1 hammer.
True.
Now, the reason that it says this, that put that clause in there, is because when you have the full Book of the Skull, it specifically says characters can have more than 1 hammer.
If you have 4.
So the answer would be no, I would think.
I was just wondering, because I was about to say, part of the thing about taking more hammers, all the hammers are great, is that at most he's only going to get the most use out of 3 hammers.
So I like your team, Danzig. I preferred the A version.
I second that.
I built a animal team that I would use personally if I were going to run a meta animal team. I would do the Book of Skull as well with all 3 hammers, Alyosha, Beast Boy Dolphin, and Beast Boy Pterodactyl. Now, I also feel that Beast Boy Pterodactyl should be the backbone of all animal teams because he can carry up to 3 animals with him. He can carry them all at the beginning. Next turn, you start dropping hammers like crazy. He carries them all far enough to... He can carry 3 people. They all are now clear. You drop hammers. They pick all 3 of them up.
What's the Alyosha do? Doesn't he give a free action to an animal?
When he takes a move... Well, first of all, he gives you the lion.
And he's got Goldakin, yeah.
And then when he takes a power action, like either a move or an attack, when he takes an actual non-free action, he gives you a move on any animal. He can make the pterodactyl carry him far enough for them to pick up the hammers, and the pterodactyl doesn't even take a token.
I was going to say, on his second team, what I was talking about earlier, where I didn't know if he'd get use out of 5 hammers, because like if he dumped all 3 animals, he could pick up 5 hammers, right?
Well, I think he's got it coming up soon, and there's not going to be 5.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for something that's coming up.
It takes 4 hammers equipped to give you the double hammers. So you could give 1 to the lion, hit your 4 hammers, give a 5th hammer to Howard the Duck, and you're running around with this godlike Howard the Duck just double hammering people.
I would run Alyosha, and then the dolphin has move and attack, and whenever you drop him a hammer, that's going to make up for the 2 attack that he's missing when he does move and attack. He also has charge. I would give him the exploit hammer. Pterodactyl already has charge exploit on almost its whole entire dial. All of these can definitely benefit from the +2 attack. Yes. Then you have morph options with Beast Boy, but really I would stick with most of the time the dolphin and pterodactyl. Now, I would run 3 werewolves with that also. A, because they are amazing tie-up.
They are so good.
And B, because that gives you now a 6 on your
Yeah.
theme team roll. What's the big problem right now in meta? Justice League team base. What's one of the main reasons why they're so dang good? They get +7 on map roll. This is giving you +6. This is about as good as you can get. My poor man's mystical only gets 5, and that's really good.
Yeah.
6 is as close as you're going to get to winning map roll and trying to screw over the Justice League team base.
Animal's pretty legit.
So give a look over that team too, just in case. But out of yours, I like A better.
On a side note, I really want Godawkin with Cursed Hammer, just charging through everything.
A lion charging through walls head first, just not caring. Just headbutting everything.
We also got an email from Mysterion. It says, enjoying the show, new player. The best segments are when you guys talk about how you would use each piece. It helps a lot. Thanks for listening, Mysterion. And I, like we just said, that's part of the reason we do this podcast is to help get more people into clicks or get new players information on the go. You're riding in your car on your way to and from work, you can listen and learn.
And it helps people. I like our first show, for instance. I said I didn't notice that like 6 times. There's a lot of things you don't see on a first glance of a figure, and it's nice to get that little breakdown.
Is a very big game.
It's a very complicated and just so many things intertwining, like so many powers intertwining, so many combinations that are possible in Heroclix. And every time you look at a piece or a team, you think of a new strategy to use with them.
They say soccer's the beautiful game. I fail to.
Oh, I definitely disagree.
I definitely disagree.
So please send your questions to us on Twitter or on HC Realms. I will be, again, whenever I post these, I post all our links to our Twitter. We now have a Facebook page. If you appreciate it, if you'd like that, I'll update it. Also, every time that we get questions on there, or if we get every time a podcast comes out, I'll update that. A Pierce Theory gave us an iTunes review, and it was so hilarious that I wanted to read it.
What did he say?
Let me see.
Oh, dear God.
I know who that is, too. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
While I'm finding this, guys, rate us. Definitely subscribe on iTunes, because as soon as I put these out, if you are subscribed on iTunes, it will instantly update on your iPhone. The podcast app is really the only way that is going to happen, because for some reason the way that iTunes works and Podbean works is when I update them, they take a while to show up. So if you do it that way, then as soon as I put these things out, you're going to get the episode like literally immediately. Our one and currently only review on iTunes. Again, this is from A Pierced Theory, who is also a member on HC Realms. I think I found him. The review is awesome sauce in a golden can. Great show, good info, riveting entertainment.
You hear that, folks?
So go on there,
Riveting.
give us a review, even if you don't like the show. Seriously, I don't care. We just want to hear feedback.
Yeah, it's stuff we can improve upon is great to know too. I mean, like anything that helps us get the information out to you guys better is useful.
All right, so again, the podcast is running along, but we're going to move on into comics. Personally, I got finished with Invincible, like I said last week. Loved it. I just started getting caught back up on the Wolverine and the X-Men comics. I'm loving it so far. When you guys get done with whatever you're reading right now, I would suggest giving it a try. Especially with the set coming out, you're going to learn about some figures that you wouldn't know.
How many
much
issues
about.
in is it right now?
It's like 30-ish.
Okay.
And you'll fly through it because they're
okay.
entertaining. I like the art a lot. I like the writing a lot. I love the characters. I mean, it's X-Men. You're going to love the characters. I was going to be Oscar. Like I said, the new Hellfire Club, really entertaining. And there's actually a giant event that's about to start, I think, next week, that supposedly rumored to be ending the Wolverine and the X-Men run with this after this main event.
Dun, dun.
It features the new Hellfire Club, the kids. So you'll learn more about that. Did you guys read JLA 6?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
No, I haven't.
Gosh.
Do I need to read it
Slackers.
as soon as I get home?
You need to read it. We're going to talk about it next week because
Okay.
it's a lot of Trinity War information.
Is it really?
I'll reread it just to refresh myself by that point.
Okay, sir.
I'm
We will
loving
talk about
JLA, so I mean, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jazz.
I like how they set it up this time a lot.
Just because
I just like dealing with society, anyways, and Martian Manhunter and Green Arrow. I mean, there's some Hawkman.
There's so many
To
good
keep it
characters.
PG.
I don't like Vibe that much.
To keep it PG, I'll just put it this way. I have a huge man thing for Hawkman.
A huge man thing for Hawkman.
Oh goodness. Oh, one thing I wanted to say: Deadpool was especially good this week.
I haven't gotten around to the Carolina Deadpool.
Read this one because it has nothing to do with. It's kind of a one shot in a sense.
I have it all. I just haven't read.
It's not technically a one shot, but it is a one shot. It's its own you don't need to know anything about what's been going on. Basically, it's set in the 70s, kind of, and it's him, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist in their
I'm sold.
Their
I'm
old
sold.
Power Man and Iron Fist stuff.
Is it like the issue where he goes back to Demon in a Bottle, Tony Stark, and messes
Yeah,
with
it's
it all?
like that,
Oh
except
my
better.
gosh,
This is way
loved
better.
That one.
The storyline's hilarious. The art is so amazing. It just
Is
perfectly.
it like
sold me.
70s era art?
Yes,
Do they have
the
bad
talk. They call each
catchphrases?
other Jive Turkey all the time. It is so funny.
I can't wait.
Basically,
for
the Black Dynamite of Deadpool.
Yes, it's Black Dynamite. And then one other thing we need to read, and we'll talk about next week, is Hunger. It just started.
Oh yeah, I wanted to pick
The
that up.
Galactus event, and if nobody knows what that is, at the end of Age of Ultron, they kind of had a little one-page kind of shot showing you that Galactus is now in the Ultimate universe of Marvel, and there's going to be a big event that just started called Hunger, and the first issue just came out, so we'll talk about that next week after we all get to read it. What are you guys reading right now?
As I said earlier, I just picked up Court of Owls. Like, I've been going through the Batman books lately.
You're so behind. I'm
I'm
so ashamed.
so behind.
I'm ashamed.
I'm
But
more
I've-
ahead than you.
I finished Batman and Robin. I finally got caught up with that and all the stuff involved with that. That was really good. The first beginning of the run especially was really good. But Batman Court of Owls is great because a lot of people, when they write Batman, tend to forget the detective aspects of it all. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with... this one's very, like, thought-intensive. Like, there's layers upon layers of plans and stuff, and you're trying to figure it out yourself, and you're seeing where Bruce is picking up clues. And it's just really well written and laid out.
Court of Owls. Well, I guess technically it initially starts when he first gets attacked by the one on the walkway. But really, I'm going to try to talk about without spoiling anything for people. First of all, if you have not read New 52 Batman, it's probably... I've been reading Batman since I was literally... Since I was like 3 or 4, I've been reading Batman. This is the best Batman that we've had in a long time.
It's legit.
Freaking the first time when he wakes up in the Court of Owls maze and he's like all delirious and everything.
Going crazy.
I swear, I wish I could like read it. Like I just wanted more and more and more.
Yeah,
like
I know,
as I was reading it, I was just like, this is just gold. This is just comic gold.
They did a really great job. All the characters, all the new people they introduce, a lot of the lines, there's some really good dialogue actually and back and forth between characters. They introduced some new characters that I really want to see
They
more of in the
introduced
future.
a ton. I mean, the owls
New
in general.
villains.
The owls
are awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! And then really a lot of characters in other series sprung out of Court of Owls, like Strix, who's in Birds of Prey. She never would have existed. The new Talon book, which is okay. I mean, it's a new character that's interacting with other characters in the DC universe that never would have existed.
It's kind of funny because it's like one of those things where you pick up a storyline and they backtrack and edit someone else's work to add more into it. And it's done masterfully. Like, they did a great job with it. There's tons of new stuff. I would recommend that storyline to anyone. I'm trying to think of what else I read this week. I still haven't got caught up on Superior Spider-Man and stuff yet.
A new issue just came out this week, too, but I haven't got to read it
I'm
myself.
still 2 issues behind. And no Foes and no Carnage yet. Have you read Superior Carnage yet?
No, not yet. Drew?
I've been reading Invincible.
So, I've talked about Invincible so much lately
I'm the last one left.
that I got Drew and Ricky to read it, and Ricky completed the whole 100 and some issues in literally like a week.
I didn't get to do that, but like I literally read 30 in a night.
You just can't stop. I mean, God. I wish I could go back,
I'm so
erase my
afraid.
brain, and go back in time and just reread it again.
I'm so afraid you guys are overhyping
It's
this for me, and I'm
so-
going to read it. It's not
Well,
gonna
by
be
this
that good.
point, we've talked about it so much, we probably are overhyping it for
Well,
you.
we
but
definitely are, but
it's
like,
just-
honestly.
I think I'm going to take a comic night tonight. Like, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to sit down, get caught up on everything.
Well, if you got other things to read, don't start
Yeah, what are
Invincible.
you, some kind of nerd? Anyway.
Drew, anything else Invincible?
No, dude. I haven't had time this week. I've been reading Invincible, and I'll tell you what I've been playing, and you're gonna be sad
What you
at
been
me.
playing?
You're a truck simulator.
Euro Truck Simulator.
You're a truck simulator.
What?
Too.
What is this?
Okay,
Legit.
it's a game where you drive a truck and you move cargo.
It makes me feel so.
You know, I
comfy.
play that simulator every morning and every afternoon, and I drive a truck to and from work. And it's
Yeah,
not
but
that.
you're not driving in Europe.
It's not that exciting.
Euro Truck Simulator, like
You're not listening to French radio stations play The Offspring and wondering what they're saying in
God,
between
if
the
I
songs.
have to hear Wonderwall one more time, I'm gonna freaking shoot myself in the face.
Someone get Wonderwall queued up.
in the phone. But
Love ya.
Euro Truck Simulator, though, that's another one of those games like you look at, you're like, this game is terrible.
It is,
But it's so popular.
it's a truck driving RPG. I'm not
And that's
kidding either.
And it's the same with like Farming Simulator. Everyone's like, Farming Simulator looks so boring, and Train Simulator. But that company made some
Dude,
really
you don't
good
know
games.
how long it took me to get my hazard training up. It's ridiculous.
I just wanted to be able to truck hazardous waste from Germany to France.
What have you been playing, Austin?
Dynasty Warriors. I mean, like as I said last week, I know a lot of people don't like it.
What are you, some kind of nerd?
this
I've
guy.
poured like 100 hours into it this week.
There it is, this guy.
This guy.
Well, once again, it's the best in the series. They took what everyone liked about it and they went 100 times.
I got
farther
a
with
message
content.
from Austin. He was like, "I just bought Dynasty Warriors." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because it's good." Not good enough for me, champ.
Hey,
I've been playing a lot of different games. Number one, Bully.
I love Bully.
One of my absolute favorite
It's
games.
so good.
My favorite Rockstar game. I mean, you ask somebody what their favorite Rockstar game, they're always going to say one of the GTAs.
It's probably
Bully
my favorite
is
game
the best.
from them.
I'm telling
I've
you.
never played Bully.
And this game is so old, and I've been replaying it on Steam, and it holds up
Why
so
is
well.
Gary such a good character? Like, that's
They're all. I mean, it's just got so much personality. You can just really
brilliant.
put yourself in the shoes of Jimmy, and I would love a sequel. I know GTA 5 looks awesome, and we're all looking forward to it. But after that, I really want a sequel
just
to Bully.
I
wondering
need to
how
finish
these
GTA
people are
4.
running a school.
Play Bully if you guys have never played it. It's really cheap on Steam,
It's
or
like
you can
$5.
pick it up on PS2 for like $10 probably at GameStop. It also was on Xbox 360, like right when 360 came out. I
It's
don't think
Scholarship
it's on
Edition.
PS3.
It is
No, they
not.
didn't do it.
I think it's only PS2 because when it came out, I don't think PS3 existed.
No.
It's 360 and PS2, but it holds up so well. The graphics still look half decent.
They're decent.
The gameplay is the gameplay and the personality. It's just so fun.
Middle school GTA.
Middle school GTA. I've been playing Poker Night at the Inventory too.
I
Gosh,
love
the
it.
second one's so good.
I love it.
The dialogue
I liked
is
the
just
characters.
so funny.
I liked the characters on the first one better, but they did do a good job with the writing on this one.
Yeah,
the
this
only
one-
character I'm not really feeling out of it is maybe Ash.
I'm going to second that one. Ash
I've
is a
never
little
played
nervous.
Army of Darkness myself, anyways.
Well, it's more so just in general.
I mean, I
evil.
like
It's
him.
just his Evil Dead character. Like, I like the character. He just doesn't, like... I mean, Claptrap is so out there. Brock Sampson's so out there.
I'm a huge
Sam-
Venture Brothers fan, so
Sam and Max are a little mad to me, but freaking...
Max is hilarious.
Max is
On the
hilarious.
first one, he's ridiculous.
Sam's pretty hilarious. You gotta have an acquired taste for
I
Sam's
like
kind of
Sam.
humor.
Yeah.
I don't hate him.
It's clean humor and it's very.
It's not
Straightforward,
dry,
yeah.
but it's kind of like...
It's.
I can't think of
I
the
love
word.
the Sam and Max games, so I love.
I haven't played him.
They're fun.
I've only played the very
But
first
my
one.
gosh, Claptrap's lines in there, especially with his bandit buddy. What's his name?
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah,
Steve.
Steve.
Gladys.
Heyo!
Gladys is hilarious too.
Yeah, how he's hitting on
Yeah,
Gladys.
Claptrap hitting on Gladys is like the greatest thing
I've been
in the
playing
game.
that, Bully, TF2, and Street Fighter 4. Oh, does anybody play some Street Fighter 4 with me, please?
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm busy.
I don't own it on Steam.
You-
I ain't playing it.
You guys,
Nope.
you don't own...
Get it on Steam.
Do you own it?
I never bought it.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get
Let's
somebody to
play it
play
at
with
your
me.
house.
Ask
You live
Josh,
next
he'll
door.
always
I just
play.
started playing Evil Ryu, and he is a blast, but my god, does he die fast.
Yes.
Those
But
axe kicks.
I can stun somebody in one reset. Eat, like, cake. He does so much stun, but he gets stunned in, like, 4 hits.
He does.
So, who do you think the 5th character is going to be in the next one?
It's gonna be me.
It's going to be Cyber Dan.
It's not going to be Cyber Dan.
With rocket knees. He's going
Why
to...
don't you just throw a slot out the trash?
It's going to be Scorpion. It's always Scorpion.
It's always.
The DLC character
Oh
is
man,
always
did you
Scorpion.
see the Injustice stuff? Like, they've
Who did
been
they-
talking about... Oh, what was it they posted? They posted like a picture that was kind of fuzzy that had like all the characters for the next pack.
I would like to see Booster Gold myself. Or Blue Beetle.
This
I would
guy.
like to see. I don't know. I want to see a Red Hood, but I think we were oversaturated on Batman.
I'm good.
I would like to see Red Hood
Oh.
myself, but I don't think anybody else wants to see him.
They're doing a
Any more
reskin.
Batman.
They're doing a reskin of Damian as Nightwing. They're doing something else with him. I can't remember what it
Put
was.
Swamp Thing in.
Animal Man.
I want John
Animal Man
Constantine in Injustice.
what the freak?
Get out of here. Get
What
out
would
of
he do? Sit there and talk shit in a trench coat?
Yeah.
Get out of this room.
He would have his opponent search his pockets, and when they open it, kaboom! Everyone would blow up, and you'd win.
Oh my gosh.
He's
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con. We're just going to recap the movies.
No, I want
Now.
to debate Age of Ultron.
I found out, well, we can, but I found out some things that were, I did some digging, found out what exactly was actually rumored and was not actually true. So, here's the things that were not true. A Flash movie was not confirmed. A Justice League movie was not even confirmed. They still technically have never confirmed a Justice League movie.
They've said they're discussing.
Right. They did not give any discussions or details on the Doctor Strange or the Ant-Man movie.
Did you see the Stan Lee quote about a Black Panther movie a few weeks back?
Yes.
That was pretty interesting.
So, if nobody heard about that, basically Stan Lee was being interviewed and he was talking about upcoming movies and he mentioned with Ant-Man and Strange, he said Black Panther, and he just didn't even stop himself.
Yeah.
He just kept talking like he didn't realize.
And he's like, that's probably the favorite one I'm looking forward to. He continues going through it, just like
So,
Alzheimer's Stan Lee
Yeah,
is revealed.
he's having a little dementia and he
I don't
accidentally
think-
let it slip a little bit
I
that
don't
there's
think
going to
Marvel's
be...
gonna let Stan Lee do interviews anymore. Yeah, Avengers 3 is gonna be out next year. You won't see it coming.
Things that were confirmed. World's Finest.
Everyone's excited.
We're
about
all
it.
looking forward to it. That's going to be in 2015, supposedly.
Oh.
I'm gonna rein back my hype meter on it because I'm waiting to see who they pick as Batman
It
and
doesn't-
what they're gonna do with it. It's gonna be good. I get that.
It's still going to be good.
Whether it's
regardless.
gonna be amazing is another story.
And then big one, they announced that Ultron will be the villain in Avengers 2. Now,
It's not really Ultron.
we would actually be very, very happy with that. It being Ultron being the
If
villain.
it was Ultron.
But it's not Ultron because they said Hank Pym's not involved.
He's gonna make a. They confirmed he's gonna be an Ant-Man. Hank Pym will be in Ant-Man.
Well, he better damn well
He's
be.
not-
Well, he
No, no,
is.
no.
Ant-
No. Steve Lang's Ant-Man in the
Scott.
movie. Scott. Steve. Whatever. I don't know. I only know.
He's
the
going
first
to be the
name.
Ant-Man in the movie?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I know.
All you gotta do is
What
put
the-
Hank Pym in there. He's a
Ultron-
storied Avenger.
And people like Ultron. Gosh dang it! This is my maddening topic that had me pulling my hair out. They're like riding the Iron Man bandwagon. I feel like they're gonna make Stark create Ultron or something like that, and it's just gonna roll out from
They're
there.
going to try to get as much out of freaking Robert Downey Jr. as they can while they have him because he's going to leave them is pretty much what's going to happen.
But like to me, Ultron and Hank Pym, they define each other. Without one, you don't really have the
I
other.
mean, that's definitely true to a slight extent.
Because like Ultron's big thing is Pym is like his father, and he has like this wannabe Pym kind of complex, but at the same time hates what Pym and everything humans is. And then Pym himself, Ultron is his antithesis. He created Ultron as completely by accident. He did it to help everybody and to improve the world, and he's such a pacifist and all this stuff. Then he accidentally makes a genocidal robot that wipes out thousands of people and is just flying across the world, destroying everything and causing problems. And Ant-Man being Ant-Man is partially about him coming to terms with the fact that he's created the opposite of what he wants. It's his recompense for his actions.
Right.
So to me, like, having Pym without Ultron and Ultron without Pym is just weird.
It's just dumb. Like, why
There's
even
no
do
reason.
it? You don't even have to say much about Pym.
As I said,
I just don't understand it. I just don't
the
understand anything
segue
about it.
setup I would like to see would be Pym shows up as a scientist in Avengers 2, makes Ultron. Avengers 2 is about them stopping Ultron. And then the Ant-Man movie is about Pym becoming Ant-Man to make up for the fact he made Ultron.
Well, you know, anybody with half a brain would think that that's what they were going to do. But
But here's
apparently,
the one
that's
thing.
not what they're going to do.
Here's the one thing, though. In the he said it in an interview that Pym wasn't going to be there. He has lied in interviews before.
Who are we talking about here? Quesada?
No, wow, why am I derping this name? Lead of Marvel...
Joe Quesada.
No, not Quesada. Lead of Marvel movies. Producer of, like, all the big ones.
Joss Whedon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whedon has lied in interviews before
Well,
to try to keep things surprising and stuff like that. So, I mean, maybe. But for those who have seen Iron Man 3, there's a lot of talk of AI. At one point, Tony uploads his brainwaves into a robot in it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that kind of hints at Ultron.
I don't like this.
I don't either. And it really frustrates me as an Ultron fan and as an Iron Man fan, because I feel like they're cramming the two together. Tony's got enough demons. You don't need more of them.
Alright, so...
Let's just hold out hope.
Shut up, Andrew!
Next week we're going to have a special guest, most likely.
Sorry.
Philip Young, who is judge at Game Preserve and a good friend of ours. He'll be in here, and we will be talking about growing the community, which is something that Phil and I, especially Phil, have had a lot of success with here lately, especially in our area.
John, huge.
And we'll be talking about that and kind of like a subtopic on judging, as he and I both judge, and we'll just kind of go back and forth about that, as well as our typical news and everything else. Please subscribe, rate, or review us on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook. We now have a page. Like I said, it's Dial H for Heroclix. Like us, ask us questions on there, whatever you want. We also have a Twitter account now. It's at Dial H for Heroclix, and the 4 is the number 4. Dial H
Yeah, the
for
username had a max
Heroclix.
on it, sadly.
Please comment or PM us with questions, feedback, topic ideas, anything. We love hearing from you guys, and like you see, we're going to give you, responses either on the air or personally. I personally respond to everything. You can find us on hcrealms.com. I'll be posting this on Reddit, Podbean, everything. I'm going to try to put up those links to the pictures that we're talking about in the X-Men set if you want to get a look at all of the figures that you're excited to see. Most of those have pictures with the spoilers. Don't forget to enter the Dial Design Contest as well. It's completely free. You got a chance at winning something that's pretty dang cool. I've been using them. Every time I use them, people are like, oh, those are awesome. So get yourself, have a great chance at getting 6 tokens, especially since we've only had 2 entries so far. Even if it's just 4 people, I mean, you got a pretty good chance at winning this thing.
They're really cool. You should.
So, please, we just want to hear feedback from you of any kind. Like we said, good, bad, whatever. I want to thank Austin and Drew for being with me today.
Oh, no. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.